$1 million question. Why did you sign with Roc Nation?
They felt the best for what we were trying to achieve. I really wanted to globalize what we've built. We built something so special, and I've witnessed how many lives it's changed, and I see the feeling of people who come to this yard and find my music, and I thought it was necessary for the rest of the world to get that experience. And one thing that we struggle with independently is having representation outside of where we exist.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm huge where we exist, and we can do all the media platforms here, but that's not the same for Switzerland and Ireland and the UK and Indonesia and China, you know? Like, everyone that I've met that has experienced what we do, it has been life-changing for them. Why would I not want to change as many lives as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. What's your perception of all this and what he said, and how do you feel about that? And I can't leave you out as well, too. We got to introduce you as well. This is T right here, the manager of LaRussell.
Yep.
Thoughts?
We had a lot of conversations around Roc Nation and if it was like the best option at the time. And I think where we really landed was the quality of people there. You know, like we got to go sit in and meet everybody, and we had a round table talk with all of the different teams, and they had a whole pitch thing for us. Okay. And it was, it felt the most aligned with our team at home. Like when we walked in the room, it didn't feel like we had to break any ice. Mm-hmm. It just felt like we were able to have conversations, like we were already on the same page. And I think that those are the most important things that you need if you're gonna build your team. Like you don't want to have to build a team and then be like, dang, I need to figure out how we mesh together. You want to be able to walk into a room and be like, dang, this already feels great. It feels like we can hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And did.
Yeah.
So
out the gate.
Immediately.
And before any paperwork was signed, you just like, you have.
It felt good.
Because the thing is this, is like people will say who don't understand it will just think of a name. Mm-hmm. Some people will think of it of a corporate brand, but we can get into that and what it actually is. But you don't understand at the end of the day, there's human beings in that building.
And it's not like that's the first label meeting that we've ever had. It wasn't like we were just wowed by like, oh, wow, this is a big name and we're going to go in here and we just want to be able to be, it was, we actually got to meet the people, have very in-depth conversations, and then make a decision based off of the people that we were going to do business with.
And I didn't do a deal that was proposed to me. Mm-hmm. I signed the deal I proposed.
Okay.
You know, that's what people don't understand. So I set the ground for this, and beyond that, something that was really important for Hove was passing the keys and the information and the resource that he gathered during his journey with all the fights he had to fight. And he gathered this book of information and said, you need to be able to use this. If I'm going to give it to anyone, I want to make sure you have these tools and resources available to you. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like that's how special this is. This isn't just a deal. This is the passing of resource from someone who went through the forest and came out with their shirt ripped up. Yeah. And was like, you finna go through that forest. I want to make sure you have everything you need to navigate it properly to get to where I am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I saw you ask the question on the podcast, and it's escaping me the name of the two guys that you were out with, but you asked, who's the biggest independent artist?
Hove.
Jay-Z.
Right. Hove.
People don't think of it that way because it's such a big corporation. He has a lot of partnerships, but that's the truth. Mm-hmm. And we can go into that a little bit, but before we go into that, you said something that I appreciate you bringing up. You went there with the deal that you wanted. Can we talk about the deal structure?
Of course.
What does the deal structure look like?
I got a term for 6 months. So from January to June, the summer, which don't exist. Look at your face. Your face was like, what do you mean? That don't even exist. This is literally like, here, I got this project that I worked really hard on, that I believe in. I love this music. And I went in and I said, I want to be able to go to radio. I want higher publicity. I want to go to late night television. 2 of those are already achieved. I guarantee you I'll be on late night television before this year is over.
What are the other 2?
Radio, major publication and publicity, late night television.
And so radio, are you
I'm already on radio, over 50 stations.
In the U.S.?
All over the U.S.
Nice. What format did y'all go to?
Urban.
Urban format?
Yep.
Okay, and the publication?
We've had Boardroom, Billboard, for...
They have Boardroom.
you know?
That's Rich Klein, right? Boardroom?
Yeah.
Shout out to Rich.
We've had a ton, you know, of course, and what we was already adding to the pot, you know, and just the rapport and association of being with them, you know, it makes everybody else. I've been on the news 20 times because it's like, hey, you know, like you don't even see rappers on the news as much as I'm on the news. But yeah, they really just came in. Everything that we discussed that we wanted, because we went in with our own pitch deck as well and was like, these are the things that we need for this to feel successful for us. Because I was already having independent success. It don't make sense to partner unless you can add value to what I'm doing. Can you add value in these spaces? Yeah.
This was also the most prepared that we've ever been when going into a deal. Like from the previous deals that we've done, we've realized like, dang, we always have obligations that we have to meet. How many songs need to be, you know, sent in or, you know, whatever their side that they expect, deliverables from us. Yeah. But we never go in with deliverables from them. And then we walk away from it like, dang, what changed in doing that deal? How much did we grow? How much did they actually contribute? So now when we went in this time, we were like, no, these are the deliverables we expect from you. And you are going into this contract as well as we are with like, we're going to meet these deliverables and we're going to meet ours, which already changes the tone in going into a deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's non-exclusive. I just dropped an album last week.
Right.
You know, like I'm still independent and free to do whatever I want to do. They're never going to get in the way of that. But it's also like, what's crazy is with this deal, the same way I'm sharing revenue and things with my team, is me saying, hey, I got 42 albums. One of these, I'm going to share some revenue with you and give you stake to help me make it larger.
Yeah.
That doesn't take any of my autonomy and independence away. That's me being smart and leveraging a partner.
Yeah.
Which also was really beautiful on their end to hear how important it was to them for us to remain independent. Whereas usually you go into deals and it's like, well, you know, like eventually we want to be able to move your catalog and we want to be able to like have, you know, in order to help you, we need access to all of these things too, but we'll start here. For them, it's like, no, making sure you get to stay independent and autonomous and we just add to what you're already doing is the most important thing for us. That already changes the tone.
You know, I could honestly, and I can just double click on that and confirm that too, because when we were going through that bidding war a decade ago, we sat down with Hov, and Hov said it himself. I don't want to own anything. We can do the licensing deal, and that's fine. I don't want to own your copyrights. I just fought for my copyrights.
Right.
Why would I want to do that?
Man.
Told us that straight up 10 years ago, so I can confirm that. That's a fact when it comes to that. You know? So it's one album.
Yep.
One project, whatever amount of tracks, doesn't matter what it is. And then that's going to be a rev share on that project, 50-50?
Yep.
Got you. So it's 3 to 6 months, but in that time you could deliver the project. Can you also deliver music that is not a part of that project in the interim to continue?
We did that too. Like we put out the draft day freestyle via them as well.
It's through them, so it'll all go through them for the next 3 to 6 months.
But the last album I just dropped isn't through them.
That's what I wanted.
That's me doing my own thing. Exactly.
People think that, right?
Because a lot of people have to, you know?
What do you mean?
Like most artists, if you sign a deal, you have to release everything that you release through that channel and through that method.
During the term.
But we're always big on like, hey, let us do our thing. The things that you feel like you can add value to. Like this last album I dropped, I hit him and we had a meeting and then I said, I'm dropping this as a surprise, spontaneous drop. Do you feel like you can add value? If you don't feel like you can add value, I'm going to do my thing. If you do, we'll do it through that route. They're like, man, it's only a day, so we don't want to impede that. Do your thing. And that's how it's supposed to go. But a lot of artists don't have the freedom to make that decision.
And he was able to drop it a week or two before the release date for the album that they are working on, usually it'll be like, bro, you can't do that. Like, we're already trying to get the build up and, we need this amount of time in between each release. And it wasn't none of that.
Wow. Congrats. Yeah. That's incredible. I love to hear that. That's amazing.
But it's like they signed me to be me. Mm-hmm. They knew who they were coming. It's not like I'm an artist who didn't have a track record or no one's seen what I've been doing. It's like I've been known to do the most innovative things. Why would that stop now?
Folks, listen up. We're going to take a quick break from the pod to talk about music publishing. Now, look, I had a great conversation with my man, Jacob Paul at Cosign, and I think it's absolutely worth you watching a short segment from that convo just to ensure you're not leaving any of those publishing royalties on the table. Check it out. So then talk to me about Cosign.
Okay, so Cosign is a newish service that we launched about 12 months ago. And the goal of Cosign is to take everything that we've built in terms of Cobalt, in terms of the infrastructure of registering songs and collecting royalties as quickly, as directly, as efficiently as we can. And Cosign just puts it in the most flexible format possible for a new generation of like artists and songwriters and producers who have real money to collect on the publishing side. They're really earning songwriting royalties, but they want something that's really flexible in terms of a deal.
Okay.
Because what we saw was that, there's this landscape where you have big companies with lots of resources, but they still generally have a pretty old school model of operating in the business, right?
Yeah.
Where, maybe you're getting locked into a co-pub deal or even a traditional admin deal where you're not giving up copyright ownership and might have a longer term length. And there are a lot of artists more and more that we see, and not just artists, but producers and songwriters who either, one, don't want a traditional deal ever. They don't need the traditional infrastructure. They are committed to being independent. Or maybe they might want a traditional deal at some point in the future, but they're just not ready for it yet. Mm-hmm. And the last thing that I think artists should have to do, and I've seen this, is sort of almost get like hustled into the wrong situation just because they feel like I need to cover this base and this is what's available. And now you've signed up to something that maybe won't serve you in the long term. So for Cosign, we just said, look, we'll create something that's super flexible. It's a rolling quarterly deal, but you can tap into Cobalt's global infrastructure for collecting your songwriting royalties. And that's really what Cosign is. It's a door to the biggest independent publisher in the world, but in a really, really flexible format. And it's also a selective service in the sense that, we want to make sure that the artists and songwriters who are coming to Cosign have enough money to collect that we can throw a lot of resources at making sure we're maximizing that income. So we're not being selective because we want to say no to people, but we want to just deliver a very high quality of admin service in a flexible format to people who are ready to take that kind of step with us.
What does that look like when you say to be ready? Is there a floor in terms of like how much the revenue is?
Generally I would say, I'll put it this way. I think that if you have $25 in publishing royalties to collect, there are lots of bigger services that you can go to that, you pay $100 and you can sign up and they let anyone in and they have hundreds of thousands of songwriters. I would say that works if you have $25 to collect. If you have $2,500 or $25,000 to collect, that's where it's probably worth stepping up your infrastructure, and whether that's Cosign or another bigger publisher, that's sort of more the zone that we'd be playing.
All right, guys, that was Jacob from Cosign talking the cold, hard facts about music publishing. If you're interested in learning more or even applying to Cosign, the application is free and only takes 3 to 4 minutes tops. You can find the link in the description below or the pinned comment. Now let's get back to the pod. But do you one day wake up and you say, I think it's time to do a deal and start looking around?
It's kind of a conversation that just lingers in the back all the time, because we're always thinking of, okay, how can we elevate the business? How can we go to the next level? What does this look like? But we've never been in a rush to do one. Right. We're like, if it makes sense and it aligns, we'll do a deal. If it doesn't, we're going to keep on growing and doing what we're doing. This was something I've been talking to Cruz and Chris from Roc Nation for about 1.5 to 2 years now. So it wasn't even a rush. Right. It was like, we've been discussing, but it's just like, it don't really make sense, you know? And when I finally made this album with Lil Jon, we were all like, man, this is special. The music is big. This is Lil Jon. I got records that I feel like should go to radio. I want to get a partner that can help us. I feel like this could be expanded upon further than us just making content and going to social media. How can we do that? Who should we do this with? So that conversation just sparked it, and it's like they've been having interest. Let's sit down. Let's see what we can figure out.
Yeah. How's the is your first time doing a radio run? Promo
Yeah,
run? How's that feeling?
Incredible. This is something I pitched to previous partners of like, hey, we should go to radio. And it's like, we don't think that makes sense.
Yeah,
the streaming, but the numbers, I didn't have to fight them to go to radio.
Wow.
It was like, that's what you want to do. We believe in this record too. Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, it was no conflict, no fight. This is what I want for myself. Can we do it?
Right.
So it's been really beautiful to see all these people posting me and to wake up and to hear my song premiering on a station I grew up listening to. And I told them, previous situations, I'm like, bro, people love me when they see me on social media. There's no way they're going to hear me on the radio nationally and not love me too.
Yeah.
Why would that not be a means that we market our music through?
Right.
But it's not worth it for everyone, but it was worth it for them.
Yeah, because generally you be having a conversation and they'll say, like, if you're going to go to radio, then the label will say, well, what's the story?
Yep.
And it's just like, what you mean? Well, what's the story on streaming? All right, let me go and call, because I think you're supposed to go and call streaming. And okay, I have my relationships. Let me call streaming. Hey, streaming, what's the deal over here? Or if you're talking to streaming platforms now, and you say, can you get me on such and such editorial and playlist?
Yep.
What's the story?
Man.
I thought you were the story. Like, no, off platform.
Right.
Oh, TikTok. Oh shit.
What's the UGCs?
What's the UGC? What's the video creates?
Right. How many creates?
It's
like, did you hear the record?
Right.
Do you love the record?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, let's go.
Take a shot.
Right.
They don't do that anymore.
They treat radio like it didn't exist before social media. Like, they act like social media has been breaking records the whole time, whereas people were taking songs to radio well before social media was telling us it was popular.
Right? Labels don't want to be labels no more.
Yeah.
They want you to break the music. They want you to market the music. They want you to promote the music. They want you to do everything and then come in and add gas. But the origin of the label, when we went to Motown and we looked at the Berry Gordy's and them, it's like, no, I chose you. And I'm going to make the world choose you because I believe in it. That's what it's supposed to be about. Malachi over there, we found Malachi with a couple hundred followers, and we chose him. It's like, no, the world needs to know this. I'm going to put my money up. I'm going to put my time and effort into making sure they do because I believe in it. For some reason, that just disappeared, Like, it may happen in pop now or in country, but in hip hop, they want you to do everything before they even decide you're worthy of my investment and my time. And I feel it's a business, but at some point, we got to get back to the music. It's like, do we love this? Do we believe in this? Let's go then.
Yeah.
They want the artists to break themselves first, which is kind of insane.
Here in North America, talking about global, it's like the world, like where that Motown strategy is working now is Korea. K-pop.
We've seen it.
They putting it together.
Oh
Seen
my
it.
God.
Yeah.
Putting it together.
I was talking to Tommy Brown, TV Hits, about this, and because he's been out there a bunch for like a decade. He's like, that's the new Motown over there. Like how they operate. They build stars over there.
Exactly.
And then the audience, they know the fandom relationship, the psychology of it, which you clearly do as well, right? When you go and you have, so now when you sit down with Roc, you sit down with Hov, Cruz, how long does it take for it to go from conversations to getting papered up?
We decided we was going to do the deal in December.
Yeah.
And we had the deal done in January, February.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
a 2-year relationship being built.
Yeah, but it was just 2 years of like, hey, we interested if you interested. But we was just like, we're going to keep, doing our thing.
It happened so fast only because we got the deal that we proposed. Like, it was no redlining.
Yeah.
Whereas usually something would take longer because it's this back and forth and all that.
Even though I did have some revisions and they came back the next day.
Well,
Right.
What did you have to protect most aggressively?
The non-exclusivity of like just making sure, hey, I got to be able to maneuver outside of this. The other things were like, how in contracts there's verbiage where it's like you can't speak on this deal because of this. And I'm big on like, I'm going to speak on, a deal. So just having to get the verbiage right where it's like, no, I'm going to communicate and share. I'm not going to do things that's disparaging, but also having verbiage to where it's like, well, if I can't say nothing, then it has to be mutual for both sides. Because I had told the lawyer, it was funny, he started laughing. I was like, how this verbiage is set up, that means like, y'all could beat my ass and throw me out the building and I can't say nothing. That
Right.
can't be real.
NDA.
Because if I have a bad experience, I have to be able to communicate my experience, and same vice versa. You know, so it was really, really great conversation. You know, I'm on the phone with their lawyer myself, like, this is what I want, move this, move this.
That was different too.
And that was different.
Yeah.
You know,
They
like
put us directly in touch with the lawyer who's drafting the contract.
With the
So
lawyer.
it's no middleman of like, oh, well, he said he wants this. And then when it comes back and it's not right, they're like, oh,
and I
it's
went
communication.
line item by line item. And I said, no, we have to take
Give me
this
the
out.
Excel sheet.
We have to
I
move
need it
this.
numbered.
Line item by line item, 1A, 3B, you know, and it was a really beautiful relationship because the lawyer also explained like, oh, well, this is why this is this way, but I understand your plight. I'm finna do this for you. You know, it was the whole relationship was symbiotic where it was like respectful. Everybody wanted what was best for everybody. It wasn't one-sided and like, well, this needs to be here for us and this needs to be here for you. It was like, nah, let's figure out how we can lean and make it make sense.
How early was Jay involved in the conversation?
After the deal was done.
Yeah, after it was done. But you know what's crazy? After we linked, he was
Interesting.
involved the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
Amazing.
But it's funny because all throughout the process, I told Cruz, I'm like, we can't do this deal unless I holla at Jay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not doing it until I holla at Hove.
You gotta
that's-
be able to talk to the CEO.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as we started going through, we had a meeting up there, and Emery walks in, you know, one of Hove's best friends. And he just gave us, like, after my whole ordeal with Roc Nation, like my first, that interview piece and telling, hey, this deal was bad, this, you know, I thought they had a disdain for me, you know,
Sure.
because it's like all that comes out, you're going to feel away. And the love that they greeted me with, and they corrected all of that and was like, that's not how we feel, and that's not a reflection of what we do. That's not, we believe in what you do. This means something to us. And talking to Emery and everything, I started laughing because I told the team, I was like, you know what's crazy? We wouldn't even be this far if Jay didn't have nothing to do with it or want me here.
Right.
You know, and then when we met,
100%.
and he was like, man, I've been watching you for years. And even we talked about the first thing, he was like, man, I'm trying to give a nigga a deal. You know, but it was like he's been involved the entire time.
Yeah. He tapped in for sure.
Yeah.
And then also someone like Hove is like, how can he not be respectful to the language of you saying, I have to be able to communicate what these deals are, bro, because that's part of my brand. He's been giving us the game in his albums for 12 albums, you know, like
Right.
Yep.
he shows us the structure of the deals in all of his music. I learned the music business through listening to his music.
Yeah. Yep.
I learned how to hustle everything under the sun except a couple of things, like through his music, right? So I'm sure that it was a great conversation and still going to continue to be a great conversation.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a little break because if you're listening and thinking, fuck, I could really use some guidance right now, and you're serious about building your career in the music industry, I'm now offering private strategy sessions. These are fully personalized, just you and me tackling whatever you need in your career. With over 16 years of experience working with artists, managers, and brands, I can help you map out your next moves. Now, whether that's structuring your team, scaling your brand, navigating the industry, even figuring out what steps to take, whether to go to a distributor or to a record label and figuring out what are the best deal points. I can help you with your career with where you're at. You can now book a one-on-one with me through my Calendly, and you can find the link in the description. Now let's get back to the pod.
So is there something deeper to it when you do a deal with someone like Roc Nation?
I believe so. Because like I said, this is a passing of the reins. When you have somebody like Hove who had to go against the system, building his own DSP, building his own things to compete, building his own touring infrastructure, building his own brand business, building his own sports agency in a world where they're completely okay with you signing and dealing with them, but they hate when you build your own thing. That's when it's like targeted attacks and war. When someone like that takes all this information they gathered and say, here Kanye, here Rihanna, here Cole, here LaRussell. I want to make sure that you can get the information and a resource to go to radio and not had to go through them to do it. I want to make sure you can get on TV and not had to go through them to do it. That's so much deeper than just a deal with Republic. You know, it's not the same thing. This is a black man who fought to get all of this information, knowledge, and resource to build this.
Absolutely.
It's nepotism. It's nepotism. And nepotism's okay when it's done on the other end, but when it's done on this end, it's so different.
Break that down some more.
Lucian can pass down a company to Elliot, and it's like, yeah, and he's deserving. It's not because it's his son, like he built something special and he's deserving. But when Hove builds it up and does it to a LaRussell, it's a whole different conversation. Now we sell outs, now we this and that. But it's like, you would want your father or grandfather who went through the path and had to go through the revolution and have to take all the lashings to build what they built to get that information down. Because 20 years from now, we're going to be in a situation where we're like, well, nobody shared, nobody said nothing, nobody gave it.
Right.
But when they give you the handbook, you got so much negative to say about it. If the biggest indie artist right now and the biggest indie artist that existed meet and he say, here's everything you need to make sure you become even larger, that is celebratory. That's something that's like, thank God. Thank God.
Him.
Yeah.
Man, y'all wanted me to go sign with them people who wasn't gonna give me none of the information, just
Right.
throw me through the system?
Right.
Man, stop playing.
And it's like nobody cares when artists come out under Republic, under Universal. Like when they are label signed artists on that end, nobody cares. When they break and they're a large global artist, nobody has anything to say about it. But when a LaRussell joins with a Roc Nation, it's like he's a sellout. It's like, bro, you can't win for nothing.
Well, I think sometimes the public will say if an artist gets really hot, I always think it's like a badge of honor when you get called an industry plant.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like,
you
oh,
did.
man,
I mean,
I'm
you
making
did.
it.
I mean, you're doing it good. Yeah.
Pop champagne, like, yo, we're on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Because, it's like a crazy kind of conversation to even have. It's like the artist and their team whether you're signed to a label or not,
Right.
you have to put in the work.
Man.
It's not like there is no button. There are different ways to market, promote, add, short capital, right? But at the end of the day, you still got to do the work, and people still got to like you and the music.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And also I think with y'all specifically, the conversation is more about the ideology of what an independent artist is. Not what independent artist is.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it gets silly when you start thinking of the ideology of it, because most people will assume it's 100% like T being here. Why is she here? This is all LaRussell. This is like it's 100% me doing this thing. And if it's not just me, then okay, I can have people around, but it's more so based on this idea of I can freely do as I please. And that's kind of the ideology, I think, behind it. But like the truth is, it's more about, in my opinion, and I love to ask y'all, is like, do you control the situation?
Yeah.
Right.
I think independent mean you're not dependent on anything outside of yourself to have a sustainable business and journey. Like if Roc Nation left tomorrow, LaRussell would still be LaRussell, building monumental things and having crazy impact.
Yeah.
Right.
Together, we could do larger things.
Yeah.
But no matter what, everything would still be here and remaining intact.
100%.
There's some artists where if that label leaves, we've seen it, you know? Like, it's like, no, everything's gone.
Right.
Like you have to rebuild from zero. I'm not at zero. And it's like that. It's just, I think that's fully what it is. It's like your control of what's existing and happening. Are you able to do this yourself? Yes or no? If you're not, and you have to stand on someone else's shoulders to stand where you stand, then that's not independent, because it's like you need all of these resources to make happen what you're trying to make happen. But we've literally shown and proved it. I own all of my music. My team has royalties and shares in what I do because it's mine. I could do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, even further to that point, right? It's just like in the partnership, do you own the asset?
Right.
Do you control decision making?
Exactly. Exactly.
We were just laughing about that earlier.
Did you choose your partners?
Exactly.
Right. I was just telling them, like, bro, Roc Nation doesn't do anything unless we approve it. And I'm like, it's a beautiful thing. And then some days I'm like, bro, just go. Like, yes, it's okay. But they literally don't do anything unless we give it green light. It could be the simplest thing of like,
it could be an
product
asset.
page.
Yeah.
Yes, and they're like,
That's a
is this good?
great product manager, though.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what you need. And that's what independence is. It's like, no, I'm completely in control of what the public gets from me.
Yeah.
Completely. There's nothing that goes out that LaRussell didn't say, like, oh, yeah, that's representative of me 100%.
I think it should be understood on the whys, but like one thing that's never talked about is the how. How do you work with a partner like Roc Nation? So tell me, who's responsible for what in this relationship here?
In terms of,
Like what does Roc Nation handle versus you guys handle internally?
I mean, we still handle everything for LaRussell on a day-to-day. We still handle all of his merch, his touring, his music releases.
Everything. They handle partners.
Yep.
So it's like, hey, we want to... But even that, it's like, we want to connect you with Spotify. Can we connect y'all on this? Then we're there.
Yep.
We want to connect you with Apple. Hey, can you go meet with Billboard? So they're handling all of the globalization of LaRussell, making sure the world know who this is and what this story is, and putting us in the room to go speak for ourselves and be represented.
Yeah.
Okay, who's the product manager at Roc?
We have Cruz that does all. He's our A&R and handles all of our stuff. Yeah.
So he's talking to y'all and internally, then mobilizing.
We talk to the entire team. Cam,
Yeah.
digital.
Who are some of the?
Cam and Roderick are probably our like most. Cam, Roderick, and Jordan.
Yeah.
What do they handle?
Jordan.
Cam does digital.
Yep.
Jordan does DSP relationships and stuff like that, and Roderick is the main product manager that's overseeing the album, and then Cruz is our A&R there.
So Roderick is making sure all the different departments at Roc Nation are getting delivered. Yeah, are talking. That's an important role.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's like one of the most important roles. And it's funny that you mentioned that. It's just like, when you got a good product manager? When they're annoying.
Yep.
Shout out to Billy Zaro, by the way, my favorite product manager I ever worked with. He was at Island before and then went to Arista. But man,
that's what it takes.
He hit us with a crazy checklist, and he would call you, text you, be like, "Hey, just following up, just flagging this hasn't been responded."
Man, we've had situations where we'll be in a partnership with somebody and we don't talk for months,
Yeah.
And then it's like now, bro, every day we have a message. If we're not doing a call, we got at least a message every day for something, them making sure they're doing what they supposed to be doing to earn our trust in our business. Like, we got 6 months. You don't even see artists with deals for 6 months. It's like they got 6 months to make me decide, hey, is this something we want to continue or not? And same vice versa. They don't do them kind of deals.
Yeah, no. Is there an option at the end?
Yeah. Yep.
Their option or mutual?
Mutual
you have the
option.
Yep. Mutual option.
Yep.
That's rare too.
Right.
It's usually label option versus. Well, I think now nowadays they more or less.
Yeah, they've been leaning towards mutual now.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. Okay, so then this is like a very much test and prove kind of ground to see if this is.
Man, they've been showing up,
and they've been proven.
They've been showing up.
Yeah. From
the jump though, like the second that the ink hit the paper, the virtual
before.
Ink, oh God. Yeah, they've shown out.
What does success look like for you at the end of 6 months in this partnership with Roc Nation?
I would like to see multiple songs on radio. Okay. I mean, the deliverables for certain. I think that if the deliverables get hit, this was a successful deal. So if we're on late night, I think we also had like a streaming growth of like hitting, like sustaining, I think it was 1 million or something, like streaming, being able to sustain it with no playlists.
1 million what?
1 million monthly listeners.
I think we might have set it to like a 5x multiplier
5x,
of what we currently
doing.
Yeah.
Without it being playlist driven, because that'll make it seem like you have all these, but then it comes back down and it's like, no, this needs to be able to maintain. And then what we said, radio, late night, and then streaming and major publication, which is already like they've done well on that. But if we hit those and LaRussell's still happy with the partners and with the relationship that we have, this was a successful deal.
Let's talk about then, just zoom it out a little bit then, for somebody who is entertaining getting into a label deal or already in a label deal with a partner, right? What should a artist and manager be looking for when they're in that partnership with a label?
That's tough. Because it really depends on who you are and where you are in your journey. Like for this one, like we said, we went into it with deliverables because usually artists only have deliverables, but we were like, no, y'all need to meet these metrics for it to make sense. But I think first, most importantly, you got to deal with who you do the deal with.
Yes.
The people in the building and the people you speak to, and not just your direct, but every department should have a certain energy and feeling about you. Presence in the room.
Yeah.
Like, that was a big thing for us there. Like, we talk to everybody. Take me down to the other floor. Let me meet the admin. Take me back to this one. I'm not just talking to the person working my. I want to see everybody just to make sure, hey, we good.
And it was beyond just friendly. Like, I think that's important. You go and everybody's smiling, everybody's nice when you're trying to woo somebody. Like, it wasn't just friendly. It's excitement about the artist and knowledge.
Yes.
Like, we didn't walk into a room and they were like, oh, what's your name? Everybody knew who was there, what he had done. Like, you have to have that about a partner, or else it's like...
Yeah, my experience from that was when we were going through a bidding war. When I say we, I said when I used to represent JAÐ-Z, and it was Byron and myself co-managing JAÐ-Z. We were doing all the label stuff, and you go into a label in New York, and
wine and dine.
Elevator would open up, Jesse's face is
right.
Yeah, wine and dine.
You're like, oh shit, oh okay, cool.
They like her.
They like her. Yeah. And so we get in there and do the meetings. But two things happened. One that I remember distinctly is when we sat down with David Massey over at Island Records and Ziggy. Massey was running the company at Island over there at the time, and man, he was so dialed in. It was like every song he heard on the EP before it came out, he knew why that song was and was able to communicate it to Jesse and myself and Byron. It was like he had it completely, he knew her.
He was invested.
Oh, he was just so dialed into Jesse. And he's really like a artist's kind of artist. And then following from there, that was cool, but we need to see more. And we like, okay, let's pick up the phone and see if they'll introduce us to your different departments. And then it was like 2.5, 3 hours just sitting in their main foyer. Digital will come in, radio will come in, this other, and it was like giving you like the whole spiel on how this business works and like how we can help you maneuver and figure this all out. So yeah, that's
man, and everybody don't do that.
Yeah.
No. Everybody don't walk you around the house and say, okay, this is this team and what they do, and this is this team. Sometimes, man, everybody don't do that. And that's a necessary thing too for artists going into these buildings. Yep. Like, think about how people treat you when they walk you in their house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I think also before you do a deal, being knowledgeable about what those departments are supposed to do.
True.
Before you get there. Because they'll say a bunch of gibberish and a bunch of random words together because they know you don't know what the hell they're talking about. Right. And then you're like, wow, yeah, they're so knowledgeable, they're doing great. And it's like, bro, he didn't say nothing.
It's a bunch of word salad.
He didn't say anything at all. And if you get them talking and you ask the right questions and you realize they don't know how to answer what you have a question about, like, okay, this might not be the best team for me. Or if they have an answer that's like, dang, I never thought of it that way. This is a great team.
And T even proposed when we was there, like they put together a whole deck for us because she's like, how are y'all gonna push him? Mm-hmm. What is y'all plan? Yeah. Like what does this look like? Like, nice. Oh, this is cool, but what are y'all going to do exactly to get him from here to here?
Yeah.
And they laid all of that out.
That's important.
Yes.
Yeah,
Vital.
I need to, you could tell me everything, but it's a whole other thing when you give me that document and then you show me strategically what you are trying to do. Because now I can look at this and I can also say like, okay, one, you care, but two, you know what? We align with this strategy because we understand this, but you know what? This doesn't really make sense for us. So we can tweak that, but it's not a big deal. But at least I can go by, this is my blueprint.
A lot of the time they say what they're going to do, but they don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it sounds great, but what exactly, that's what I kept saying. What exactly are you going to do? Step by step. How are you going to make that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really like what sold me too, was seeing it and seeing it all laid out in a way that's like, oh, I can follow this plan and see how it's going to lead us to from A to B. This makes sense.
Yeah. When you were talking about digital as an example, right? So the digital team, because y'all digital's on smash.
Yeah.
Crushing it, always. What are some of the things that their team introduced that you were like, oh, I never thought about it this way? Because now you're different, you're dealing with, you want to have alignment in philosophy, but they're going to have different tactics for certain things, right? And I'm curious if, like, what are some of the things they introduced to you and vice versa you introduced to them?
For me, it wasn't really an introduction of things. My biggest thing going everywhere was like, I have digital on lock. Are you able to jump in and amplify what happens organically? And that was my big thing for them. Like they sent us plans for like clipping, influencer marketing, seeding, these things. And I was able to say, nah, don't do it on that because I don't want that. I want this to be organic. That doesn't feel organic. You could try that, but I don't like those results. I'm going to do this. If this goes, I need you to go boost this on the back end, run dark ads, do things like that. So it wasn't an introduction of new things for me. It was really like, how malleable are y'all going to be on being able to amplify the moments that I'm already producing?
And because he's so knowledgeable on the digital end, it's like having a partner that is okay with him saying, this is how I want it to run. And like you can pitch something about like, oh, well, this is how we've previously done it. But if I don't believe that that's the best way to do it, can you just support how I want to get it done?
Yeah.
And that's like, especially when that's what you know the most about.
And they've been cool with that?
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of these things because obviously not everybody knows some of the terms that you're talking about, right? So clipping. I love to get to because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the independent artists and the independent and the managers understand what they're getting into, right? This is the value that we're providing them. Let's talk about clipping. What is clipping?
Clipping is mass distribution of your content. I think that's the best way to put it. It's putting your merch in every clothing store. So there's clipping and there's seeding. Seeding is putting your merch in Zoomies all over the world. Clipping is putting your merch in the gas station, in the corner store, in the everywhere, not just Zoomies and Nike, but everywhere. So there's two variations.
That's a good analogy.
Seeding is a high level where it's like you're trying to get the academics and the say cheeses and the shade rooms and all of that. And then there's clipping where it's like, no, we want to feed this everywhere by as many creators as possible.
Yeah. So to get to it from like a specific on it, it's like your digital clipping strategy could be anything. So it could be you go to a company. Who do you use as a
Clip Tech?
You use Clip Tech.
Yeah.
Okay. And for seeding, do you go to each individual blog pages or do you use a company?
I have a seed rep.
Okay.
I have a person that two actually. I've had Ayal and then I've used Kyrie as well. So I have seed reps that I use. Some pages I still go direct, but I usually go through a seed rep to kind of go all the different places.
Got you. And what are some of those places that you'll do some seeding?
Rap Marathon, Bars, How Songs Were Made, Say Cheese, Academics, all Bars, Spiritual Word. All the mains that you see, that you
Yanni.
see content on, yeah.
Yanni.
Yeah, everywhere like here.
Yeah. Okay, and so on the clipping side of things, how do you see it? It's two questions, actually. The best type of clipping and the clipping to avoid.
Man. Clipping to avoid is pages that when you go look at following to engagement ratios, it's like non-existent. It's like people aren't really here. But there's two forms, right? Because there's clipping to where you'll hit a bunch of pages that don't have no traction, but algorithmically it just puts it into the atmosphere. But I think it really depends on what kind of artist you are. Like, you want to avoid negative clipping, but some people thrive and benefit from that, you know? So, like, that you can't even avoid it. But I think great clipping is a clipping campaign that shows up in your world. You know, when I spoke to my clipping team, it's like, I want to hit the places that I see music on frequently. Like, where I find new music, I want to see my music existing there. I don't want to, if it's on pages that never even get to me, I don't know if it's truly working. Even though I have a dashboard and it's like, yeah, there's 2,000 clips, it's like, I don't see that shit nowhere, so it feels unreal.
Right.
But when it starts showing up in my algorithm in pages where I usually find music, it's like, oh, you're working it. You're in a good place. These are good prominent pages that actually exist that you see in your own feed, you know?
Yeah. And so who's a clipper? As an example, just what is a clipper?
A clipper is someone who, for instance, would take this interview and go pull out all the gems, all the moments that make sense, all the things that feels like, the world would, if they seen this, it would be crazy, and they spread it through their page, their homie page, however many pages they operate and exist in.
Yeah. Do you think that's what happened with the Wayne thing?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, that wasn't. And I only say this because I run clipping and seeded campaigns, so I know what one looks like. That had a specific narrative across several pages. Before it got to the big blogs, you know, who would just pick things up because, this is what's hot. It had a specific narrative across several pages that's like, we don't even follow these pages. That's different. That's a campaign. You feel me? That's someone putting their budget up to say, hey, spread this, put this title, this headline. How do they all have the same exact?
So you think a seeding campaign happened?
Definitely.
Yes.
Is there no way that it could potentially have happened where it was somebody clipped that, went crazy, and then these other smaller channels said, yo, that's actually working here. We're going to repurpose this shit.
I would, because it all happened simultaneously. Multiple pages at the same exact time had the same exact verbiage.
Oh, wow.
Which is
it would change.
When you're seeding something, they ask you, okay, well, what do you want the title to say? How do you want the verbiage? What do you give them a narrative, they put your clip under it, and they spread it. So for them to all have the same exact narrative is like, it can't be a seeding campaign because, or it can't be a clipping campaign because they take whatever clip they want. They put their own caption and then they do it. They have free will over it for clipping. Yes. For seeding, it's like, I'm paying you this money to tell this exact story. Specifically. Whereas clipping is like, just share it.
And I think, after that initial campaign spread, of course, it goes organically because everyone's talking about this. I have to share the news too. But to initiate, it's like, I've done hundreds of interviews where I've said some shit. Now, all of a sudden, LaRussell signs to Roc Nation, signs to Jay-Z, and then said this. I did that interview before I even did the deal. It's like, that's very specific. Out of all my fucking... And then it's like, that's one specific interview that I've done out of hundreds. Now people watching my interviews is like, it didn't make sense. Like, that's very strategic and specific.
The views on the interview when that went to were low.
I saw. No shade. No shade to them. I thought it was dope.
That's not an interview people clip.
I think there might be like, I don't want to say the number. If I get it wrong, then I'll cut it out. But I saw yesterday,
bro,
4,000 views. Now, I'm not saying
since when did those get clipped.
I'm not saying it's not impossible, but highly unlikely.
At the point that it blew up though, was less than 4,000.
Right.
So if 4,000 is not a possibility, imagine only 1,200.
4,000 is from all the traffic that came from that. It was way less. And then to just like, it's just very specific.
What are you thinking?
People have such a vendetta against Hov and such a disdain for Hov and they want to destroy everything he built. Like, Hov really went against the Titans and built his own things and empowered his own people. And when you walk in Roc Nation, it's a whole lot of color up in there. Yes. It's like he's he's rebelled against the system his entire journey, you know, and he partner and work, but he's done what he's done. He freeing niggas out of jail, getting niggas out of prison, sending kids to college. It's a whole vendetta. Like, you think all this news just randomly started? They've been on his ass for years. And it's like, if you're pulling a LaRussell interview, what the fuck JAY-Z got to do with this? Why his name even in the title? Like, you know, it's very specific, and people dislike him so much that it's like, oh, this is a new target.
Yeah, and they really relied on the sheep to push it. Like, they knew that if we put this narrative out there and we tell them how to feel about it, the sheep will feel that way.
And you're never going to be able to please those folks.
And what's crazy is I clipped the moment Joe Budden said the exact same thing I said.
Crickets.
But it wasn't all over the blog.
Crickets.
How come they didn't post that? They had me on Tasha K.
Yeah, what was
they ain't put it on Shade Room, Tasha K, none of that. But when I said it, it was everywhere. But Joe Budden said the exact same thing and nothing.
And what killed me too was like, all the comments were like, who the hell even is this guy? That's what we want to know.
Right. Everyone's like, you don't even matter. No one cares about your opinion. And it's like, well, why is this a big thing? That's what I'm trying to find out.
What's the problem?
I'm literally I'm trying to tell y'all the same thing, nigga. Why do I matter? You feel me? But that be that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what killed me too was like, we all knew what he was saying. Like, if you understand the English language, you know what he said.
What
LaRussell was saying.
Yeah.
Nobody said that he can't rap.
And we haven't talked about the context of it like that.
Yeah. And this is also something, like, people start acting like I was saying Wayne can't rap and his career isn't nothing. This is a man who's on my living room wall.
Oh, God.
I have paintings of my favorite rappers on my wall, and Wayne is right in the middle. You feel me? This is someone whose face is on my fucking wall at home, and niggas online trying to tell me, nah, you just hate Wayne, you dissing him, you this. Like, what the fuck y'all talking about? But that's the thing with, like, everybody, sometimes it's just the messenger. It's not the message. And we just live in a society now where people are committed to misunderstanding you.
Yeah.
Like, they want drama.
Yeah.
They want to find something to hate you about. Some people sit in the cut and they just watch and wait till they got, you know, a moment to be like, I ain't like you anyway, nigga. You know, like, that's what this shit be. And it don't be no deeper than that. And that's something I had to learn. You know, Russ called me and he was like, this is actually a rite of passage. You're now learning that.
Yeah, because he's been through it.
What you say is more important than you thought. You know, if I didn't mean nothing, it wouldn't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good call to have from someone like him because he's been through it.
Oh, God.
He's on such a different path now than what it was like 10 years ago. He's so I've always, you know what, to be honest with you, there was always this thing about Russ where people would say, like, he comes off cocky. I'm like, I don't hear cocky. I hear confident in his decisions.
Knowledgeable.
But to the world,
Yeah.
confidence is cocky.
Yep.
To people who don't have confidence, to people who wasn't taught to believe in themselves and that they could be something, confidence is real cocky.
Yeah.
Right.
What you doing walking around believing in yourself, thinking you could do something? What you doing thinking you could sell $1,000 ticket to your backyard? What you doing thinking that you could rap independently and make it? What you doing thinking you could work with Jay-Z and sit in the same seat as him when you came up from the inner city in Vallejo? That's real cocky to somebody who lacks confidence.
And make them uncomfortable, so uncomfortable that they hate you for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the important part of it is it says more about the person that's criticizing than it does
Exactly.
you.
Man.
It has nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
All right. And it is such wasted energy, in my opinion, to like literally hate on somebody else because they might look at y'all and say like, but why? And that's such a thing. It's just like, why him?
Yeah.
Why her? You know, in a way that is envious. And I'm from Toronto, and my generation, the biggest global superstar in the world came from my city, Drake.
That means something.
Hey, means a lot.
Yeah.
And I was close to a lot of it. And so I saw that and I don't know. I maybe learned this when I was like 18 or 19, but I never looked at that with any type of disdain. I always just looked at it like, man, that's crazy. How? I gotta find out how to do this.
How can I do it?
How can I do this? Right. And that's the energy, which is what I love about you and your journey, because You guys are just constantly giving game. And we're out here in Vallejo and in your backyard. And the one thing that I really just kind of found interesting right now is you talking to a contractor an hour ago. Like, y'all know you're boosting the economy here, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that was the goal.
I've had more people come to Vallejo than people who have came here in the past 10 years to go to Marine World. I've had people come from Paris, China, you know, like, we understand what we doing. Restaurant businesses go up. I understand what I mean to my community, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why the internet shit is like, you can't defeat me. You know, it's like, I really live this for real.
Right. Yeah. I was telling him, I got him to watch The Matrix the other day because I was telling him, like, they will really, somebody who's not ready to wake up will kill you for trying to wake them up. Like, you're a threat to their livelihood for trying to wake them up out of, like, the days that they've been living in. They want to be dazed. They don't want to look at the reality of their world and realize, like, I have 100% control over it. That will piss somebody off.
Yeah. They tried to cancel me for talking about Wayne, but they never canceled me for selling cocaine or talking about killing a nigga that looked the same as me. But I'm the one tripping.
Man, that was really what it came down to. It's like, bro, it's a bunch of sheep just herding themselves right into the slaughterhouse and mad that a nigga opened the gate and was like, hey, bro, you could go this way and live a full life. Yeah. Like, they just just rinse and repeat.
And you know, the larger this business becomes, better believe the more that will happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know, Gary Vee told me during All-Star, he was like, man, the hard part isn't when there's 5 people in the room. The hard part is when there's 5 million people and you believe what they say about you. Oof. And it was like, man. And then this thing happened right after. Crazy. And it was like, and it was a testament of my own faith. Like, I had to sit with myself and be like, was I malicious? Was I wrong? Was I being, you know? And that's a conversation you got to have with yourself, because that's never what I'm on and never my intention. And I had to sit and and then you start believing, like, damn, can I rap? Am I not good? You know, like you see, when you see 100,000 people say something, even if it's a lie, you start to question it in your head because you're like, well, why they all saying this? You feel me?
Yeah.
But it's a testament of, like, man, you have to believe you and who you are and what you stand for. And that's the only thing that's, like, finite in this world.
Yeah.
I love where you came to with it as well, and being like, even though I wasn't wrong, I wasn't right. Mm-hmm. Like, everything doesn't need my commentary on it. Mm-hmm. If that's the legacy that Lil Wayne wanted to have, and clearly it is, because he had a whole interview moment where he was like, I don't want to rap about substance. That's not what I do. People come to me for this specific type of rap. And if that's what he wants for his legacy, then who am I to comment?
And the crazy thing about that is, like, I never said he had to. Like, I didn't want that nigga to be Martin Luther King. Nigga, I love, nigga, no ceilings, motherfucker, good morning. Like, nigga, that's my shit. I didn't want him to do that. I was just saying, like, hey, that's not where, exactly, you feel me? Like, but that's the internet in this world. People are really, really committed to just, like, finding negative.
Man, he said, as I grew up, I just chose to stop listening to it. I realized that it didn't pour into my life anymore.
Right.
Now you wrong, bro.
I remember the first time I heard, I want to throw up like chips in Vegas. I opened up the window of my car, like, whoa! Crazy. Thinking I'm sick, he wants to throw up like chips in Vegas.
Oh, God.
Woo! And then I hear money on my mind. Like, oh, there's bars in there that are just, and the beats. I think the Runners did that beat.
One of the greatest rappers ever.
Yeah. Crazy talent. Nobody got saying like Lil Wayne. Nobody.
Yeah, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. Paris, you said, Marine World. People are coming from all over the world over here. Were y'all able to connect with them through, is this ads or marketing? Because let's talk about ads and how you utilize them. Because there are folks who like to use ads. There are folks who don't like to use ads.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then there are folks who really don't like to use ads, but know the necessity or the necessary evil of using ads. Mm-hmm. Talk to me a bit about that in your process and your strategy.
I love ads. Just
straight up.
I love having a phenomenal product and making sure as many people as possible see it. I love when I see comments that say, I usually hate ads, but I love that I found this. I love when somebody from a whole different country see my raps and they like, I just became a fan. Bro, we did like a week and a half run, Denver, Salt Lake City, all this. And at every single show, someone came up to me and was like, I just found you 2 days ago. I just found you 3 days ago. I just found you from this ad. And now they at the show.
Wow.
You feel me? Like, it's so powerful. If this went viral organically, why would I not show it to as many people as possible? I love that.
I think that's where the disdain for ads come from, is people don't know how to use them properly. They think that the only way for people to see their product is if they put ads behind it.
Correct.
And it's like, no.
Right.
People already saw your product. They love it. Now you put ads behind it. But people will throw $300, $500 at an ad and
Thinking it's going to blow them up.
And it doesn't yield anything, and they feel like they wasted their money. And it's like, yeah, you did. Nobody liked it before. Like, even the people who follow you didn't want to see it. What makes you think a random person is going to like it? You have to understand how to use a product. Like, if Google is still running ads, why wouldn't we?
If Google running it, why wouldn't you
Why
go?
wouldn't you
If
run it?
Google, why wouldn't you go?
Okay, so let's talk about it. How do you properly use ads? Let's talk about a campaign on a new song. Like, how do we start with this?
I don't run ad campaigns behind like new music to like get streams and convert that way. I don't do that.
Awareness.
I run solely awareness ads behind pieces of content that have already gone viral and proven itself worthy. And then I run ads behind tickets for shows. If I'm coming to your city, you gonna see an ad for me coming to your city. And then I run ads behind merchandise that I'm trying to sell. If I do a merch run, I'm gonna run ads to make sure people see it. But in terms of the music side, if the piece don't go viral, I'm not running ads. If it go viral, I run the ads, and that leads people to streaming, YouTube, however they want to consume it. I don't make them go anywhere specifically.
That also allows people to choose the music that they love. Instead of being like, oh, I like this song, I'm going to show it to everybody and you're going to be forced to love it. It's like, bro, nobody likes that song.
Yeah,
But if a
advertise
song-
what the
yeah.
people chose.
But if a song goes viral with this piece of content, then we run ads. And then we do it a separate piece of content and it goes viral, we run ads. And then that tells you, wow, this song, it's not just the content, it's the song that's doing really well, because I've done it on multiple pieces of content and it continues to go.
Yep.
And the customer acquisition cost on an awareness campaign,
Far lower than trying to direct them.
how low do you get it?
Sense.
I've gotten mine down to 3 cents, point 03. You know,
0.03.
7,
03.
10. Like, and that's how I control like how much I want an ad to go.
I
Like,
thought I was nice. I had 8,
Man.
0.08.
it's good. It's good.
I know, but I thought I was nice.
Yeah. I mean, but it's based on the content. You don't even get to control that. You know, it's like
Of
if
course.
the content is great, like it's this me and Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
You know, it's like
Right.
that's gone. That's gone.
And
Right,
then
You feel me?
how much the average fan spends with you, 15 to 100, and especially with us doing offer base, the average fan spend is more like $25 to $100, and you spent 0.03 cents to get that fan.
To get the
other
fan
day-
for the offer base.
The other day, I'm laying down and I got a notification somebody spent $500 in the merch store, right? They bought 3 hats and like 2 shirts. So I'm like, oh, I'm finna call him. I called a guy. He's like, man, I seen your ad. I just became a fan. I've been looking at all your stuff. You're so awesome. And now you calling me? It's like, this fit. This is everything. I got a lifetime fan now.
Yep, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Off an ad that started as an ad, and then it became, let me go down this rabbit hole, and then he got a phone call from me. It was like, I ain't going nowhere. Let me know what you need.
Right. And that goes back to somebody who's fully independent and owns everything within his ecosystem. So he can look in his Shopify store, see the exact customer, grab their phone number and call them from his actual cell phone number and make the connection.
Did you tell Roc Nation, like, hey, this ad budget, send it to us, or are we going to split this ad budget? So you do your thing, we're going to do our thing?
They do their thing and I do mine, and
With
I
their
approve
budget?
theirs. I use mine still. So they have their budget that's set. Hey, we want to spend this on ads, but I have my, I ain't stopped doing nothing I was already doing.
Right.
I look at it as we should be doubling up. I'm not going to do less now. I was already spending this amount on my ads. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. You add more value. Instead of you trying to replicate what I do, the ones that go beyond, okay, go add more value there. Don't use my paper for that. Use it for things that I can't do. I didn't get with them to do things that I can do. I got with them to do things that I can't do.
Yeah.
Right,
To
right.
the point where it's like we got a spreadsheet where they're like, we want to run ads on these, and then LaRussell has to approve, like, oh, okay, yep, do these ones. I'm currently running ads on that, so wait,
On the ad side, I want to stay on the ad portion of this. Summarize kind of the things that we were talking about right now. So we're saying an awareness campaign, the cost for somebody on the other side to click on that awareness campaign
Yep.
to, like, at best get a follow on Instagram. You know what I mean? That's what you want. The
Yep.
follow on Instagram, and watch it, so then you can go and explore.
Yep.
Wherever that other person decides to go, that's on them.
Yep.
Not my choice, but there's a lot of places to go. But the cost of the awareness is like a tenth of what
Yeah.
taking somebody from looking at this ad and saying, stream me on Spotify.
Yeah.
That'll be like $1, $2.
Yep.
You only take somebody direct on an ad if you know that the yield of that conversion, like when we do tickets, it can be direct because I know
Yes.
I'm going to make $40, $50, $60.
Yeah.
If the yield is just a stream, it ain't worth it.
Not at all.
It ain't worth it. You're wasting money.
Not at all.
I think that's also why LaRussell's monthly stream count to follower count is so different. Like a lot of artists, they have high monthly streamers, but then they might only have 100,000 followers on Instagram because the label side is like really trying to drive the streams to the music, whereas LaRussell has been running ads to drive follows as his conversion. And then if you end up at the music, then that's great.
Yeah.
So the conversion has been a lot different throughout his career for the last 5 years of you running ads.
And on the ads for, say, a tour, right? Are you still putting ad spend behind content that crushes
Yep.
organically?
Yep.
All year long.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And merch-wise, how are you using the ads as well to directing traffic to the
Direct to Shopify. Yep.
Shopify? And would you use the same piece of content like you and Marshall Lynch, for example, for merch piece as well as awareness?
I mean, if I'm wearing the merch in it, yeah. But if not, no. But yeah, I would use the same ad for anything if it's representative of that thing that I'm trying to achieve. So if I'm wearing the merch in it, then yeah. But if I'm not wearing the merch, no.
Then you're not. Yeah, got
Yeah.
you. And are you changing it up at all? Like, are you doing dark posts of it where it doesn't show up on your feed?
Depending on, so what I did, I'll do that for shows. Like if I'm marketing a tour, I'll do a lookalike audience. I'll do a retarget audience, and then I'll do like my standard. This is who IG chooses. Like I'll go in and set a 3% yield based on people who look like this, or I'll put in specifics, city specific stuff, specific interest, yada yada.
Got you. So you're doing that all not because you could do awareness campaigns and directing traffic campaigns in Instagram.
Yeah, boost.
The boost.
And then
do you do that? Awareness
for just the boost, but when I want to do lookalikes and specific things, I use Business Manager.
Facebook Business Manager, yeah. A key too now. Well, they changed it, but before, like when you're doing awareness campaign, don't do that from your iPhone.
No, he doesn't have an iPhone, so he wins on that end.
You Samsung. Yeah. They charge you 30% on that unless you go desktop.
That is crazy.
Super crazy. They just changed it though, so they give you now the notification. Instagram will say like, if you do this through the desktop, or I think you could decide to not get the 30% charge, something like that. But I've always done it just directly through my
the
desktop.
business suite.
Yeah.
Or
I'll go through desktop. Like on Instagram, I'll go through desktop to bypass that 30%.
Yep.
They'll even tell you that in the app. Yeah. So important to note, and you said it off the top, it's like don't spend the money against every piece of content for ad.
And I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
You know, like those are all things that you learn as you're doing this, as you go. Because when you start and you realize you can advertise your stuff, you like, man, I want everybody to see everything. And it's like, nah, that's not how it's supposed to go.
Everybody don't want to see it.
Everybody don't want to see everything.
I feel like everybody needs to see this.
Yeah, it's not about, I don't think advertising is not about you. Advertising is about the customer base. When you get to the point where you're spending marketing dollars, it's about what's received well.
Mm-hmm. It's not about how you feel about the content. It's about how people have shown you they feel about
How
it.
they reacted. And I don't do it based off like, likes or just views. I do it based off shares and comments.
Yes.
You know, and that's something that changed because I used to do it off likes. I'm like, oh, well, this got a lot of likes. Then I used to do views. This got a lot of, but now it's like shares and comments.
That's how you know somebody really engaged with it.
Saves? Do you look at saves as well?
Not really.
No, just shares and comments.
Yep.
That's your main metric. Views comes third there?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I learned about that through Gary Vee. Day Trading Attention. He's got that book, and he would call it Strategic Organic Content. He's got the whole playbook of how to use content marketing and ads. And I saw there when you guys connected in SF, you know, he said that he's been listening to your stuff since 2017. So that almost 10 years. He's tapped in, though. He was lying.
It just sounds good. He's been around a little while, though, but yeah.
He taps in, though.
I didn't even have an album out then.
In 2017?
But it sounds good.
He said somewhere around them years.
Somewhere around there. It feels like 2017.
Right, it feels like 10 years.
Him and Mike Boy tap in, though. They know what's going on.
Man,
He has been
Boy's
tapping
my
in for a long
dog.
time.
Yeah, he
Boy,
has
good
been.
people.
I think since like 2021.
Yeah,
Like, I
long
think I
time.
got a message from him in like 2021.
What was the first piece of content, music, visual that started to connect for you where you said, oh man, this is like, I got something?
In 2019, I wrote an R&B record for one of my best friends called The Way that really went on Twitter and had a moment, but it really helped jumpstart like her journey back then. But that wasn't like my moment. It was like just something I was a part of. Then 2021 freestyle.
What was the song?
It's called The Way.
The Way. Oh,
Yep.
and who was the artist?
Tessie.
Okay.
Yep. But 2020, I would really say Do That Little Dance was like the first.
It was a funny.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't.
realization that
It was.
we had.
You know what's funny?
We used to be like, it's going viral, and it had 1,000 views.
Yeah, I just had so little followers that I thought it was going viral, but it wasn't. But I was still moving the metric algorithmically.
Viral is subjective in my opinion.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
I think it's
It
subjective.
didn't
it ain't.
change his life.
No, it ain't.
Whereas when 2021 freestyle went, it changed.
Viral ain't subjective.
So
Viral
viral
ain't
then,
subjective.
viral then, from your perspective, is if it changes your life, that's viral.
No, I think if thousands of people are sharing it and engaging with it and people texting you and calling you about it, it's viral. If just the homies is excited, it's like, it probably did well, but it ain't viral. Viral is COVID. Everybody caught it. You feel me?
Bro,
viral ain't, nigga, you just sick. That's just the stomach flu. You and your mama got it because y'all live in the same house. You know, it's like, those are two different things.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me ping it back though. But if you say you got 50 views across a bunch of different content, and then you got the one piece of content that's got 1,000 views,
It did better.
It did better than
made
the
it go
others.
viral.
Yeah,
It
it did better
but you
than
just
the others.
15x or 20x the thing.
Yeah, you got more views.
If you're an NBA player and Kobe's high score is 81, and you usually average 4 points, but one game you got 10. You're not the nigga. You did better. You did 3 times, better than you usually do. But it's like that's still not. You're a long way, But it's still, as a starting artist, you count those wins, and we counted those wins. We was like, man, it's going. Like those do count. But when you start to look at the grand scheme, it's like, oh, I didn't get no bookings off this. I ain't get no interview. No platforms reached out. Like it just did better, and you're on your way to virality.
Okay.
You've got something that works. Keep going. But viral is like, bro, everybody's seen it. Everybody's talking about it. People who don't know each other have seen the same piece of content.
Like when I still till this day, when I'm out, any state I'm in, somebody's like, I seen you in that truck.
Right.
That's viral.
Yeah.
I seen you on the back of the truck. That is viral. That
Marshawn
happened
Lynch?
5 years ago. I seen you with Marshawn Lynch in a car. That's
Yeah.
viral. It's like somebody's gonna hit you with it while you outside.
Yeah.
So, you were gonna say something?
No. I was just agreeing.
You were saying you guys just had this realization, and this happened a few years ago. How long y'all been working together now?
2021.
5 years.
Yep.
Actually, the end of this month will be 5.
Oh, really? Amazing.
Yep.
How important is T, your manager, to the whole process?
Vital. T just became my manager 2 years ago.
Okay.
Like
well,
she really came in. T's first inception into this was, give me all of your clips. I'm gonna post them on TikTok.
Which is where the viral clip came from, actually.
And that's how viral started happening. And then from then it was like, all right, I'm gonna help wherever you need me help. I'm finna film everything for you. I'm gonna be behind this camera. I'm gonna edit these clips. I'm gonna upload them, whatever is necessary. Then it slowly moved to, let me take care of the emails so you could focus on this. I'll just start responding to the ones I can. Let me do this spreadsheet. I'll put together a ticket. Here, I'm gonna work the door. I'll do tickets at the door. And then it just slowly grew into like, no, we expanding the business. This is your role now. So she didn't come in as a manager. She came in as like, how can I support and how could I help?
Yeah, it got to the point where he had so much business that he couldn't manage it on his own anymore.
Okay. When did you guys meet? How did y'all meet? Years prior?
Yeah, let me tell the story because he always says some crazy. I actually, the viral piece that he was talking about, do that little dance, I saw.
Viral.
I saw it on Twitter and I was like, damn, he's really tight. This is like during COVID or close to like the end of COVID. And I reached out because I was working at a music platform and I was like, hey, I want to like help share your music. I think you're tight. And I was at A&R at the time. And I pitched him. I told him like, I'm gonna pitch you to this platform. And he's like, all right, cool, sure. So I ended up getting him posted. It actually got like a lot of interactions on it. And we kind of laughed about it. And
Negative.
Yeah.
What?
It got a lot of negative interactions.
What did?
The post on the platform that I worked at the time. But it was kind of the culture of the platform. So it wasn't, I don't feel like it was reflective of you. It was just reflective of the culture of the platform.
WorldStar?
Nah. It's a local one. Thizzler out here.
Oh, okay. All good. We'll keep it.
And so yeah, he gets posted and I feel like it kind of showed you that I could actually like help you in some way, shape, or form. Because people be like, hey, I want to help, and then nothing happens.
She did what she said she would do.
Yeah. And then so he was like, I actually have an album coming out. This was Marlon 7 at the time. And he's like, you should come listen to it. So we hung out, we played tennis. He played me the album. And then I just started helping wherever I could. Where I feel like I got brought on was I figured out where he was lacking within his career that I could help at.
That's what I was going to ask. Where was it?
It was the TikTok. He wasn't on TikTok. And at the time, during COVID, TikTok was the biggest thing out. TikTok was breaking artists left and right. Yeah. And I was like, bro, if you get on TikTok with the artists that you are and all the content that you have, you will go. I know it. And I was like, just let me like post your content there. And he's like, yeah, sure. Days go by and he doesn't give me the content. He doesn't reply. I'm like, bro, I'm going to pull up to your house. I'm going to have these drives. Just give me the content on the drives and I will do it. And I pulled up, I got the content, and I started posting.
And then I gave her books.
Yep.
And I said, read these 2 books and highlight everything you got a question about. If you serious, then you going to do it.
What books were they?
Everything you need to know about the music business. Donald Passman, and then Ari Herstand's The New Music Business.
Got you.
Read both. I think we ended up doing like a video call, and I just asked him questions about the things that I didn't understand, and then from there, it was like, I feel like he trusted me more to like, okay, you're serious about wanting to help me. And we started building.
That's so important because I think so many people will act as if they have the information, but when you don't know the information, the best thing that you could do is ask the fucking question.
Right.
Like it's a vulnerable thing, especially in our cultures, like Latino culture, you can't do that. You be like looked at crazy, right? At least the older ones, right? But it's like, I don't, look.
Bro, we really started from zero. Like, I taught myself everything, and then she came in with no experience. She's never considered being a manager. I taught everything from zero. Like, hey, this is publishing, this is management, this is this kind of deal, this a door deal, this how touring work. I taught her everything that I knew.
When I started with him, management wasn't what I wanted to do. I really was like interested in film. I wanted to go into like being a producer on film sets.
Really?
But we were in COVID, and so I was like, within the music space because it was the next best thing. And then he was like, no, he called it from one of the second or third times we hung out. He was like, you're going to help manage and make me one of the biggest artists in the world. Everybody's going to know your name. They're going to know what you've done to contribute to my career. You're going to be a pivotal part of this journey.
Amazing. When did you know?
After she took the clips and stuff started moving, and then after she actually highlighted in the books. Because if you want to know if a nigga dedicated, give him a book. Give him a long one. And if they read through that book, that shows like, oh, you willing to do what it, because most people not. They're going to get it like, it's not worth it.
Right.
And I will have you know, I did not use any type of like shortening. You know how you could just Google the summaries of a book?
Come here, We call them in Canada the Coles notes. So you call them the cliff notes.
Man, I was like, you have to highlight it so I can go through and see.
Wow.
Highlight.
You've done this experiment before for sure. Oh,
but
never.
I had to do it. My highlights were still in the book. It's like, this is what I put myself through. So if you're not willing to do what I was willing to do, ain't no way you're going to last here.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, everybody on my team, like, these are all, the reason I can say is 120 there, 240 there. Hey, take that generator out. Hey, there's internal indeeds on that camera is because I've done everything. I'm not a nigga who just rap. I've set these lights up. I've hit record on these cameras. I've taken the photos. I boomed the audio. I put it into the Zoom mixer. Like, I've done every single role.
Amazing.
Amazing. Even having Mally here now, he's been like working under me, and he knows how to set up all the cameras, the lights, the audio and stuff. And I've been telling him, like, if you're going to find your version of me for your career, you have to know how to do everything for yourself. So that way when somebody comes in, so that way when somebody comes in, you can teach them and you can show them the way that you need help. If he wasn't able to teach me and tell me like, hey, these are where I need help here. This is how to do Excel sheets. I need you to break down all the cities that I'm popular in and all my lookalike artists and what their fan bases look like. If he didn't know to ask me to do those things, I wouldn't have the knowledge to be able to help him in the way that I have.
And we've been able to give the green book like Hove is given to me. Mm-hmm. Every artist, producer that works for me, they know how to throw their own shows. They have their own ticketing platform. They know how to market their music, how to shoot content. Like, we don't how to set up mixers for that shit. We not, no one here is like, you getting your hand held. Is like, we're going to teach you how to survive and how to build your own business.
How do you identify those individuals that you pour into?
They identify themselves. A star gonna shine. You ain't gotta, it ain't nothing you could do to make it. You just look up and you're like, that's the Big Dipper. You feel me? That's with T, that's with Mally, that's with Shantae, that's with her. It just happens. You don't really have no merit in that. When we go do meetings or go to places, bro, we've been to concerts in different places where there's thousands of people in here, right? 20, 30,000. I will walk in with a hoodie on and niggas like, LaRussell, I'm shining.
Right.
It's 30,000 people in here. How does nigga see me from all the way over there? But it's like a star gonna shine. You can't miss it.
I was telling Mally, it's funny, we were just talking about this yesterday. I was telling him, like, I made sure that I was of value. I made sure that he felt like he needed me around. I don't care what it is. Like he said, holding the light, holding the camera, doing this. I'll do tickets at the door. I don't care what it is. I want you to go somewhere and you don't like that I'm not there. Because I'm so useful when I am.
That is everything right there. Mm-hmm. Yep. Be useful. Be of value. Yep. Don't go into a new relationship and think, how can I extract from that person that's got something going on or not? Just be like, how can I add and help you? Bro,
and that's service. And that's really our company ethos. Like, we'll go on shoots and we here. They like, we filming y'all. Well, we here, so we finna work. You feel me? Like, it don't. We're always gonna find a way to add.
Yes. So you become the manager only a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. What's this conversation like when that happens officially?
It was really me just asking to take on more. Me seeing where there was a lack, where it was like, things aren't progressing the way that they could because you can't do everything.
Okay.
I want to be able to take on more so that way we can make this as big as it can possibly be. And so I ended up stepping down. I used to film all the shows. I used to doc whenever I remembered to. And we ended up bringing on Splash, and it freed me up to be able to fully take on the management role.
Okay. And so you were the one that identified it. You were like, I'm ready to do the management. To be the manager here in this situation?
I don't think it was really asking to manage. I didn't really know I was going to manage, honestly.
So what was that moment where you felt like there was a ceiling there and you're like, listen, if I can take this off of my plate and I operate as your manager, we can free up a lot of stuff. And that happened, obviously. What was that thing that you saw that there was barrier?
Somebody...
The calendar.
It was the calendar, yeah. And then also...
You were managing your calendar?
I've managed everything. Yeah. Every booking, every show, everything.
You're different.
Yeah.
You're different.
We were missing out on bookings because things weren't being checked often enough. Like it was just to the point where it's like, bro, your business could be larger, but things are falling through the cracks.
Capacity. Everybody had it's great that you have such capacity. But I wouldn't recommend everybody try and do that. What you're doing.
I did it out of necessity. Like I had to, and I'm glad because I learned everything. But it gets to a point where it's like, no, we're scaling. Like you need to be able to. I had a tough time. Delegating because I didn't want no one to ruin what I spent my lifetime building. It's like, if anybody gonna do it right, I'm gonna do it right. So I'm gonna just keep doing it, until someone proves themselves worthy. Then it's like, here.
And it started with the video stuff. Like he used to film everything. He would press record, mix it, color it, edit it, add the captions, upload. He used to do everything on that end. And then I came in and I helped. I used to schedule all the content. I used to help cut it down. I used to put the captions on it. And him being able to see that like, oh, this is something that I used to do and I have it at this standard. I passed it off to you and the standard either maintained or got better.
Or elevates.
I can trust you now with that, with the business
absolutely.
side,
And the truth of the matter is nobody's ever going to get it 100% how you have it in your brain, right?
Yeah.
But I always say, if you can get me 80% of the way, that's me. If you get me 80% of the way, that means you're honor roll student. You're on honor roll. So like, I'm cool with the 20%. That hopefully can get to 85, 90, 95, and then just elevate to another level. Like you said, I love that. It's just like maintain. And if not, we'll go through the procedure to get us elevated. And now you are the specialist and boom, you go. Especially when you have capital. Because when you have capital to deploy, and when I mean capital, I mean money. Like you can now find the best of the best in these scenarios to help with the content, the shooting and all that. I'd love for you guys to talk about, let's talk about the operations and the how we're talking about independence. So who's on the team? There's you, there's a manager. I've heard there's Vince.
Vince does merchandise. Hirsch does business operations. Malachi is an artist.
He got the sickest voice, by the way.
He does.
Doesn't he?
He's got the illest voice.
Bro, that took years of... JAÐ-Z
Wait, Mally's not just an artist, though. Mally is actually my day-to-day assistant.
I'm not going to lie.
He interns. Like, he's working on shit right now.
I didn't know he was an artist,
He's been viral, too. He's had crazy moments.
Yep. Low-key?
He's an incredible artist. Like, he's one of... He's one of them.
No, he's funny. He's got charm because he's like, he be saying funny shit the whole time. I'm like,
and then JAÐ-Z does photography, brand identity. Vince also does beyond merch, like brand identity. And when we do collabs, like we're working with Cal on merch, different things. Splash does all the videography, documenting. We got Big Yigs that does photography, brand identity. Cujo helps with editing, cutting, clipping.
Head of
security and logistics. Coach on. We got it. So we have a whole extended team that comes on live days that does like ticketing, door, hospitality, waters, just experiential. We got a whole sound team. I got my own sound engineers, front of house monitors, staging, Chalberto, contractors who do. It's really an intense operation.
It's an operation. So how many of these are full-time employees?
Everybody's like 1099 contractors.
Oh, everybody here is contractors.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So everyone's contractors. Okay, so there's no full-time employee. Got you. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're getting to we're really a bunch of inner city kids who managed to scale into $1 million business. Multi-million dollar business. So which is where Hirsch really comes in on helping us scale it to, that next level, to where we're not just 1099 and all these things. It's like, oh, you're moving to a corporation side.
Yeah.
You're no longer just an LLC.
And these are all things that you got to learn, as you go. So now we've been, like, I started off with the LLC in 19. That was the first thing I did when I quit my job, was made an LLC. And we've just built under that until it's like, okay, now we're scaling. We have to figure out how to actually make all of this make even more sense.
What's an LLC?
A limited liability company. Yeah.
So essentially, you got to register that to make sure that all your businesses.
That's how you get to do business with big business.
Correct.
At the limited, they gonna ask for that W-9 and shit. And it's like, if you want to do business with big business, you have to at the minimum have an LLC.
Got you. Okay. So on the business operations side of things and scaling it, by the way, I love everything I'm hearing. This is incredible. This is the people got to understand and know this stuff, right? But on the business operations now, what is happening to ensure that the business is scaling? Like, what does that role look like for your business operator here?
I think for the past few years, it's really been like us just building and growing. The music has been like the priority. Me and the music is like, let's make sure this brand is recognizable everywhere. And we've done that through content and through music. And every year merch gets bigger. And we figure, okay, what can we add? Like we started off with I was pressing t-shirts in my mom's garage with my face on it, you know. It went from there to like, okay, now we got a compound and we got hoodies and we got sweaters now. Now we make jerseys and racing jackets. Like we did NPR and we made that into a real jacket. We make sweats and hats and like it went from merchandise to like full on apparel like Nike. Like there's people who buy merch who don't even know I'm LaRussell and this has something to do with it. That's what
dope.
They love.
That's dope
you
too.
You feel me? So and that's been with every facet, us just figuring out how we can expand this and get bigger in each lane.
And really just like, you know, when I first came in, like I was saying, it was finding like, okay, these are areas that can improve and then doubling down on improving them. And I think that between me and Hirsch and LaRussell now, especially within this last year, we've had a lot of like bigger conversations around like, okay, this isn't just a pipe dream and we're hoping he makes it.
Yes.
We're to that point of like, we need to be focused on leveling it up to the next level, which is turning an LLC into an enterprise and making sure that you're tax compliant on these and how are people getting paid now. So that way your tax write-offs look different on this end. And you know, the much less pretty side of running a business.
Yeah, but that's the stuff that makes sure that you can run your business for years moving forward and having the right infrastructure and the right individuals taking care of.
Hiring people who understand all of those things.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can have as long as they can explain it to you and you can understand it, amazing. But don't go and spend your time doing that, especially if you have the resources, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to, the business is building the business of LaRussell. So how do you continue to do that and grow that? How do you feel ever since you started delegating and all these people who you can ensure is carrying your business forward? Is doing the things that they need to do.
It feels really good, especially because I'm still actively involved in everything. Like nothing moves unless I'm like, yeah, nay, yay, nay. And I have people that I really trust to represent me and know what I stand for. Like T, I know if T's in the room, then I'm represented properly. And there's still some things where it's like she has to come to me because she don't know how I would feel about it, you know, but I'm still so involved with everything. And if I'm not involved, I trust the people that I put in that position to have the same ethos as me to carry out, except Hirsch. Hirsch ethos is a little different, but Hirsch understands me and like, he knows like, nah, he wouldn't let that shit happen, you know? So it's really beautiful to have people around me that's like, they know what I stand for and I represent and what I want for myself in the world. And sometimes we have difference in opinion where it's like, no, I'm not going to, because, you know, her sometimes is on the side of like, bro, they should be paying you for this. You should be getting more for this. And that took me a long time to get to the point of like, yeah, you're running a business. You should try to be profitable too, because my whole career was me just, here, take everything. Take everything from me. Take everything, you know? So it takes people to come around and be like, no, like you're way more valuable than just take everything.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's an absolute fact.
It's been really beautiful too to see. Last year we had a conversation on the business side of him handing over more of the reins to me and Hirsch and him being like, I've never allowed somebody access into like my business world on this end. I trust you to do this. You know, here we are, you know, still come to me with everything, but this is my first time allowing somebody to insight this deep. And that was really, really cool to see because like we started with, he had a hard time delegating.
That's up, but that's like that right there, letting somebody insight to the entire world, really the financials. That's ultimate trust.
Man,
That's scary as fuck.
especially because when you come from our communities, it's like my daddy ain't never shared with me that information.
Right.
My mom ain't never shared with me that information. Like, that ain't something we did, you know? So to open it up and be like, now you know when I'm in a loss or when I'm in a green or when I'm not, like, that's really vulnerable. But it's like you have to do that to even get to this next scale and the next level where you're going.
Can I ask, did you just come into profitability? Or is it revenue? Because I know you said before.
Not even. Like, bro, in the past 5 years, what are we in at, like 10 million? Really the past 2 or 3, because I didn't make no money prior to that.
Revenue.
The past, 10 million gross.
Gross.
You know, and I probably spent like 16 getting us here. You know, it's like, it's funny because Hirsch called me, like, ran everything. He's like, man, you're the first person I've ever seen take every dollar that you make and put it back into your business. Like, I'll get a huge check and it's like, I'm running ads, I'm running promo, I got it. Who else got these lights? Who got that camera? I got 3 of those. You know, I think we probably bought 4 in the past because my speakers is concert venue speakers. I have huge stuff, you know, it's like it's bleachers back here. You feel me? So I've really taken everything I've gotten and re-put it back into my business, but I've always had the insight of like, one day it's going to turn over to the point where it's like, I'm so far in this side, it doesn't matter. But I understand it because I've thrown shows. When I'm throwing 100 cap, 200 cap shows, 300 cap, I don't make no money. It's like, everything it takes me to throw it is what happened. But when I get to that 1,000 cap, 5,000 cap, you can't miss it.
How do you have that ultimate belief in yourself that it's going to work?
I got 2 kids. And I got 2 kids because I ain't got no plan B.
I knew it was going to be, I just knew it was going to be something. Uncle Turk say, hey, man.
It's going to be one way, baby. Nah, but I really,
That was a whole pile.
Hey, he was like, man,
we getting a clip here.
Nah,
We're still getting a clip. That's
I honestly don't know. I don't know. It's unshakable. I really feel chosen for the path that I'm on. Like, I feel like I'm gonna be the fucking president one day, and that's not something that the world can give you. It's like either God put it in your mixture when you was born of like, these are the things that you're capable of and for you, and one day you figure that out for yourself, or you don't. And that's just something like I've always felt capable. Even when I didn't know, I felt when I was the nigga back in high school with the studio who like, yeah, I'm the best rapper, you know? Like, even when I didn't know, I knew. It's always been in me. I could do it, you know? And that's why there's not too many things I feel like is intangible for me. I was just telling them the other day, I'm like, man, we got this far independently. Like, everyone knows who the fuck I am independently with no system. Some days I feel bad because I'm like, damn, why am I not bigger or global? But it's like Kendrick, Cole, Drake, they've been in a label system for 10 plus years, getting millions poured into them for years. It's niggas, I'm on similar platforms, you know, and that's me, indie. I haven't even had the chance to have the machine help me yet and pour all of that into me. I feel like in the next 5 years, I'll be gigantic, you know, and then I could go run for president and nobody could tell me I can't, you know. It's like, it's not even like a joking matter for me. It's like, nah, nigga, that's what I'm on, you feel me?
Yeah.
And I don't, there's nothing to tell me I can't do it, so I'ma do it.
I was telling Mally the other day, because I've been telling him, you know, like, you're an artist in your own right. You're going to have to lead the same way LaRussell leads. You're going to have to lead your own team. You're going to have such an intense belief in yourself that you make everybody else undoubtedly believe it's true and as well. And I was like, LaRussell is so far ahead and we believe in him so blindly because even if he's not sure how it's going to happen, he believes it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And he has such a faith in himself that it makes you believe, even if he, like how we was saying with Roc Nation, you need to tell me exactly how. None of us feel like that with him. He could say, we're going to throw a backyard show and everybody's going to pay $1,000 per ticket. We're going to put bleachers here. We're going to do this. And he don't need to tell us how he's going to do it. We just get behind him and be like, okay, well, let's make it happen. And you have to have like this unwavering belief in yourself in order to activate that amongst your community. And I feel like once you activate it amongst your community, it's no way for it not to be so. You got just one person, it's like, okay, well, he might not do all the work, but he can activate it amongst 50, 100, 1,000 people. It's no way it can't happen. It's 1,000 minds making sure it does.
Man, we was watching The Matrix the other day, and the kid was like bending the spoon, and he passed it to him, and he said, the spoon don't bend, you bend.
There is no spoon. There is no spoon.
Bro,
Man.
I used to be a child coming in his backyard, dirt, grass, gravel, running around with my cousins. None of us could see this. This don't even make sense. Like, this not a real thing. But it's real for me because I made it into a real thing. That's the only reason any of this exists, because I was like, nah, it exists to me.
What were you consuming to get to see these kind of things and kind of have your world and vision change and operate the way that you wanted to mold it to?
I truly feel like one thing that really, really altered my perspective and made me just opened up my mind to like, I can have this shit any way I want is mushrooms.
Okay.
When I was throwing my first show, I did a mushroom trip like a month prior to it. And it just broke me down. Like, it took all the walls down of like, this is how life has to be. This is the world you're supposed to live in. This is how it needs to be. It took all that shit down, and it was like, bro, whatever you draw is what's going to exist. And that's truly how I feel and how I navigate life. Whatever I draw, like I said last year, I'm finna do Super Bowl. What I do this year, whatever I put on this paper is what's going to happen. And that's how I carry it out.
Yeah. It's the thing where, and it's so true. It's like whether you think you can or you think you can't.
You're right.
You're absolutely
You're right.
You're right.
Right.
You're right.
That's just how it works. And people don't believe in that. They don't understand how simple it is because it's too easy. That concept, it can't be. There's luck. I think, okay, like if we talk about luck, yeah, sure, opportunity meets preparedness. That's what luck is. But there is another level of this where I do believe, like for myself as an example, and I can only speak for me, I'm lucky that God has given me the tools to understand that I can think this way. I'm sure that my destiny is set because that's just how I think of it. But ultimately, those tools are in me because God has put that in me, right? So I'm lucky in that sense. Not everybody has that. There's a lot of people that will never figure out what their purpose is in the world. But hearing it, you would hope that when you hear someone like your self-talk or your self-talk, that they will be able, it sparks something.
And it wasn't the shrooms. It was like where I was in life. But that was a tool that allowed me to open up and see everything for where I was. Like prior to that shroom trip, I had got back into reading. I was reading a lot of spiritual texts and a lot of Buddhist things. And my life was transforming. I was already starting to like question things in the world, and that just allowed it to open up a door. You feel me? It ain't gonna be for everybody, but that's where I was already headed. It was the me that I was.
Yeah, it's so funny because when you say that, because a lot of times with people now in my life would be like, yo, you're just a contrarian by nature. I'm like, I don't know I don't want to be a contrarian for the sake of being a contrarian. I'm just kind of like, I'm observing, I'm asking questions. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think there's another way.
And that's a gift.
Right.
It's a gift to be the person in the room who's like, why not?
Why not?
Why I can't be president? How come Trump get to be president, but I don't?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Right.
I'ma go try.
There's
You feel me? Like you need though. Obama had to be like, why not?
Why not?
James Brown had to be like, why not? Michael Jackson had to be like, why not? Kanye, why not?
Yeah.
Why I can't have a clothing line that's worth $1 billion too?
Right.
Hove, why not?
Yeah. The smartest man in the room knows that he knows nothing.
Nothing.
And they're like, I think that goes above. Honestly, I'd be worried about people. I feel like people have just accepted the world as it has been presented to
their
them.
environment.
They've accepted it.
Yes.
They've accepted their fate. They've accepted that I'm going to have to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. I'm going to have to wait to retire. I'm going to be in this situation for the rest of my life unless either somebody comes to save me or I luckily win the lottery or something, you know?
Yeah.
But the people who question their environment, who are like, well, why does it have to be like this? Well, why can't I do this? Well, what if I do this differently? Those are the people who end up breaking out of the box that they.
And there was a point
Yeah.
I accepted it. Like I thought I had a decent job. I was like, oh, this is what it is. I'm gonna go back to college. I'm gonna just go. I accepted the life that I had. I thought that was it. I didn't know, until something turned and it was like, you could do whatever you want as long as you're willing to work for what you want. And it was like, oh, like when you understand that all of this is like steps, if you want to become a better shooter, go shoot every day.
Yeah.
If you're willing to shoot 10,000 shots, you're going to be 100% better than everyone else who don't do that. That's with every single process. There is nothing in the world that doesn't work in that same process.
There's no shortcuts to that. I remember years ago when I was on the production side of things, I'm going to Cuba like in 6 hours for a vacation. First time I ever go on a vacation with the homies. And I'm just like, I'm doing like my taxes or something. It's just like photocopies after photocopy. It's 7 a.m. I'm a contractor. I'm just like invoices. This is fucking shit show. And I'm just sitting there. You know that meme where like, cut the cameras. I'm done. I'm done. It's 7 a.m. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And so I hit up my boy who had a lot of relationships with like corporate kind of production companies right back home. I'm like, hey man, just put me in touch with the sports net of, this in Canada. He's like, I got you. He's like, why? I'm like, I'm done with the contract work and the production stuff. It's just too much. And then I go and I shadow some of these people who are in these like well-paying jobs and they're directors in a TV station. And I go to lunch with one of these guys one time and he's like, so tell me about yourself. And I'm like, so I got this contract and I do these videos and I've shot for this artist and this company and this and
Tell them what you do.
This DJ. What's that?
You told them what you do.
Yeah. Right. But what he showed me in that moment, he's like, hey man, I don't think you understand, but those things that you're doing right now, I wish I had the ability to do those things. He's like, you get paid for that? It's like, my company does this, and he showed me, because he does contract work on the side, he's like, I love this. This is what I really want to do. And he started asking me more questions. He was 10 years my senior. And I thought in that moment, I'm like, oh man, I'm just constantly looking for the grass to be greener on the other side when the grass is incredibly nourished over here. Just gonna take me a little bit more time.
Yep.
Man. And we have this thing I've been telling the group, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna be the first artist to win Best New Artist Grammy with 40 albums. I'm gonna get up there and have a Grammy for Best New Artist, and I'm gonna be like, I have 42 albums. I might have 50 by then, But it's like, that'll be the first time ever in history, and that's a testament of how much work it takes until you get, like, this is my rookie year in the league. This is the first year I've ever had real backing and support, and I'm 10. I start rapping at 7. I'm 31. I'm 24 years in having my rookie season. Yeah. Just now getting the opportunity to be in the light and have the backing and the resource and the support. 24 years in. Most people give up by then.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Like that's an insane stat. Best New Artist with 40 albums.
I talk to people, say how that works, because people are like, how does that work? Best New Artist with 40 albums.
Because you don't get Best New Artist until you have a year of prominence within the industry, So that's when it's considered your breakout year. Leon Thomas been in the game for a decade plus.
Long time.
Just got it.
The Rascals.
Olivia Dean. When I used to do
Yes.
data dumps to run ads for like Tessie and other artists I was working with, I would see Olivia Dean's name then.
Really?
Under similar artists and people that I would try to, okay, let me do a lookalike audience. Back then, I was in 2019. She just won.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, that's how long this takes.
That's 6 or 7 years where she's public. Mm-hmm. It's not like breaking through, right? Leon Thomas, to your point, I met him 9 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, as a production duo with Chris Tynes, the Rascals.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. There's a few other of those best new artists that, once you get to prominence, and I'll tell you the honest truth, man, it was like LaRussell February on my IG. Every day something was something new. And
I love it.
every day was something new. And I'm watching the journey. I'm like, man, this is crazy. And I'm going and I'm seeing the followers go up and I'm seeing the love the Even campaign.
5 years after my first major viral moment. This is 5 years after.
Yeah.
I had to stay relevant independently with my own money and my own team and my own resource for 5 years since my initial viral moment for you to be like, man, I'm seeing you all over the place.
All over the place.
5 years. And I got another 5 to go just with support and an actual engine to be like, okay, no, he's one of the greatest things we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like Nip was 33.
Yeah.
33? This was his first one with Atlantic where it's like, oh, the world talking about Nip? Nip been rap. I was in middle school listening to Nip.
Very similar to you as well. I'm probably going to get cooked for saying this, but it's kind of the truth. But like, not a real smash hit record until, unfortunately, he passed.
Mm-hmm.
Some will disagree, but I kind of, that's how because I don't know about
That's
Nip.
reality.
Mainstream?
He didn't have a
reality.
mainstream record.
Yeah, it was.
right?
It never had.
He didn't have a mainstream record.
Then.
And I don't really remember people getting at him for that. But it happens with you.
Right? With me, it's like, well, he ain't got a hit. But it's like, I'm the hit.
Yeah.
If I ain't got a hit, but yet you talking about me every day on your platform and on your podcast, clearly I got a hit.
Right.
Clearly I got a hit.
Yeah, you're the hit.
Exactly.
Yeah. But as we know, because it will happen, because you're building this infrastructure for this. I mean,
And the only reason it hasn't is because I haven't played ball in the league.
played the
Right.
game.
I've had so many viral moments and I go to different states, they sing my songs word for word when I do so. I could hold the mic out, it's like I never had the machine.
You can't win
Hits
a ring
come
if you
from
don't
a
play for a
system,
team.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never was in the league for me to have it at that level. Every independent hit you hear has a whole resource staff and infrastructure behind it to make it that.
Yes.
I've never played in anyone's league. So it's like, yeah, you might not know my songs, but you know me. And how you know me? Because I'm the hit. Now that I'm in the league and I got the same resource and infrastructure as everyone who has a hit has, watch what I do.
We'll see what's up.
Let me hear you say the same thing in 5 years.
Right.
Yeah. Well, when you get that, they're going to say something else.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can't do it
It's just
again.
one, yeah.
Can't do it
And
again.
I can't
Always
wait.
be something.
It's always
And I
going to
can't
be
wait.
something. But you're on the right path whenever it's always going to be something.
Yep.
It's just, it never ends, but you don't want it to end. Because when it goes quiet.
You were saying that about how you used to pray and wish people were talking about you.
Man,
And now that they talking about you, good or bad, it's still a blessing because at least they
Right.
talking.
Yeah.
right? I used to post a video on YouTube and wake up the next day, and that shit had the same amount of views it had when I posted it the day before. I used to go a week later, same amount of views it posted when I posted with, So to now be in this position is like, bro, I welcome let come what may.
Yep.
That's the saying. Let come what may.
I'm forgetting his last name, but Tyler, the Creator's manager, Clancy,
Yep.
he said something amazing. And I live by this all the time. And it sounds like y'all do too. It's just stay out of the results. Do the work. Do as best as you can to execute. Because Clancy and Tyler are going to fucking execute. And they are some of the best
Yep.
at that. I don't care what business or genre you in. They are some of the best at that.
Yeah.
And one thing he said is just stay out of the results. Nothing you could do about it. All you can do is the work leading to that. And when you get the results, dissect, understand.
Keep going.
It's not over.
Right.
Keep going. There's the next one that happens.
Right.
You know, there's, you said something, and I want to kind of go back to it here because you're talking about why can't it be me that creates the $1 billion clothing company? All right. And one thing I think it's important to understand and kind of go back to and double click on is this idea of revenue versus what's been spent. So you said, I've made 10 million, but I've spent 16 million. How does that work for somebody to understand that? Like, how can you still be in business with that level of, with no profit?
Let me see how I can put it in layman's terms.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to explain, like,
It is.
when you're not in business. Like, you could, if I make $1 million, but I spent $1 million to make $1 million, I'm not in the green, but I'm not broke. I made $1 million. You know, it's like, it took me $1 million to make it, but I have $1 million. So it's like, I'm not in the negative. I still have money, but it's also like, I'm not in the green. I didn't make $1.010 million.
In the black.
You feel me? So I'm not in the black. I didn't make 10
Right.
over this. Like, everything that I made is what I spent to make it.
Ooh, it's like people who work a 9 to 5.
Merch runs, real quick. Merch runs is the best way, right? So I'll do a merch run sometimes, right? And to produce said merch, it could cost me $25,000 to produce it, get it shipped over here, cleared everything, shipping out to customers. So I make a merch run and it costs me $25,000 to do it. After selling all of the merch, I made $25,000 or I made $30,000, $28,000. So say I got $3,000 profit. But that $3,000 is like, I have to put that right back into the business to do my next merch run. So I don't really have any profit margin. You feel me? Like it all had to go right back to produce it. But the results that I got from it was all of the awareness and marketing. Now I have thousands of people wearing my merch. So the next time I go around to do it, I can be profitable. And that's the thing with building a business. It takes years to get into that profit. Like every time I run ads, like right now, probably in the past 90 days, I probably spent at minimum $200,000 on ads.
On ads in 3 months.
Let me do a proper verification.
Digital ads, to be clear.
Yep. But say that's what I spent in 90 days. That's not going to come right back to me. You feel me? Like I have to wait. I probably see it back in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. If I do a big brand deal, I might see it back prior to then, but it's going to take time for that to come back. So right now it's like, I still have money. I'm not gone, but I'm not in the black. You know, I have to get that shit back.
Right.
Damn, I'm trying to see
like
if
that
I can
answer?
see this shit.
Good with that?
I was going to say, people who work a 9 to 5, at the end of the year, they do their taxes and they made $100,000. But you don't have no money in your bank account. It's like you had to pay rent, you had to pay your car note, you had to pay for groceries, all this stuff. It's like sometimes they're in the negative. You got a credit card that you done ran up that you can't pay off.
Read off the top for them.
Ads, advertising last 90 days, ads summary. LaRussell News spent $311,537.31 on 83 ads in the last 90 days.
Sheesh.
100,000.
You got to let somebody else.
300,000. 300,000
Yeah.
in 90 days. That's 100,000 every month.
Did I mess that up?
No.
I
No, that's what I'm saying. It's
you gotta listen.
that's
They be
like
thinking
the
you be lying.
reality. They be thinking I'm lying.
Send
Why does somebody do that?
We'll black out some of the whatever. Send a
Fine.
screenshot and then we'll throw it.
Yep. But that's like my reality. So it's like, okay, I spent 300,000. That's me marketing. You just said I've been seeing you all February, and that's not clipping. This is just Facebook ads. You know, that's not clipping. That's not TikTok. That's not all the other forms of marketing we do. But it's like in this next 6 months, I've done Super Bowl. I've done All-Star. In this next 6 months, I'm probably going to bring in at least $1 million minimum. But right now it's like I'm in the red for that until it comes back. And that's how business works.
Yeah, because you have a line of credit cards that are funding the business because they could see that you can actually bring in revenue, so they're going to increase your limits, right? Banks got to know that you're going to be, you're going to be ensuring that it's a proper business that's being ran, right? You just said that you're going to bring in $1 million.
Plus, minimum.
Sorry, my bad.
More than $1 million.
My boss. More than $1 million. How?
I throw my own shows.
Yep.
So say I do 100 shows a year, 50 I throw with my own team, 50's bookings. I get booked for things all the time.
Yeah.
I like all Super Bowl I was booked.
All Super Bowl.
Panels, engagement, collaborations, brand deals, music, streaming revenue, physical media revenue, CDs, vinyls, cassettes, merchandise, gold cards, stock.
Wow.
People like to pay me for a whole lot of shit.
You got a dozen.
Yeah.
Ain't got no more.
Yeah, I'm out of figures, but hey, people like to pay me for everything.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of revenue right there. I mean, different revenue drivers that are coming in here.
And the best part about that is like the price just keep going up.
Yeah.
So it might be the same revenue drivers, but the revenue is increasing every time, every month.
And I've always been ahead of it. Like I spent a lot. What's up, Pooters? I spent a lot of time, in the red because I'm forthcoming. I see the future. Like I was bringing a full choir, full band to performances that I was only getting paid $15,000, $20,000 for. But I knew if they see it, they gonna understand that one day. Give them 50, give them 60, give them 75. But I wasn't getting that then. So I had to take all those losses, pay for all the transportation, pay for my crew, pay for my staff, and just end up in the red knowing, I'm going to do this one, but next time they're going to give me 75, they're going to give me 100 because they're going to understand what I brought and the value of it.
Would it ever get to a point where you say, okay, you got to chill on some of the expenses, need a profitable year this year?
No. Yes and no, but no, really, because I know what I'm going for. So it's like, I've been broke my whole life. I'll be okay if I lose some money, I'll be okay if I had to go broke to get to where I want to get to because I know when I get there, we ain't never got it. We ain't even gonna think about that.
Also, his broke and the average person's broke are two very different brokes.
Very different.
Yeah.
The more money you make and the more you're like, oh, I'm still broke. It's like, yeah, I'm broke, but I still pull up in black trucks everywhere I go. That's a different kind of lifestyle. It's like the broke becomes much more like expensive broke.
Yeah. And not to be confused with you're just spending your money recklessly and you're trying to keep up a lifestyle.
Yeah, that's
no.
completely different.
Very different.
It's invested, bro.
I am investing. I
have my money into things.
Yeah. And guess who's been, just like, man, these Fortune 500 companies, Spotify have been broke for years, only up until 3 or 4 years. It just doesn't look like it because it doesn't look like it because their business has been growth business for X amount of years.
Yep.
Right? Things change in the economy. They realize that they can't borrow capital at the same price. Rates go up in interest. So like, hey, we can't be a growth company anymore. We got to slash thousands of jobs, which is like pretty crazy concept in itself. But, they're profitable now. And that's 15, 16, 17 years later.
Bro, and that's just how it goes. And I've seen it. I've seen my fee go from $1,500, $2,500, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $75,000. We got $150 for you. We got, I've seen it. So it's like, there'll be a point where we're getting $1 million a show. And it's like, bro, whatever. I'm so happy that I put all of my money into my marketing and my infrastructure and I could throw my own shows and I could run my own ads. I'm grateful I did all of that and I took all those risks early because now we are where we are.
Yeah. Are you starting to see in the data these records or the record with Little John? It's like it's showing itself in a way where like, yo, this is...
Right now it's at the top. of everything. But it's like we've worked it. You know, we've been working it. We've been putting way more content, way more time in. It's always going to reflect the work. The results always reflect the work.
How are you feeling now that you're focusing on one song versus multiple different songs? Because I think that was your strategy for some time, right? It's just catalog. You're focused on catalog, but now it's like leaning into one song and just going hard in the paint for like 30 days on this. What's this feeling?
It's really dope to see the effects of it and to see everything centralized. Like, to me, it's still, like when I was working the full catalog, LaRussell was still the one thing that was happening, you know? So now it's like LaRussell and this song. It was funny, we was out of school the other day and the kid asked me, he said, how does it feel to be the I'm from the Bay guy? And we started laughing because it was like, that's crazy, you know? Like, I'm not
Great.
right? That's really cool. But it's also like, you know, whether you go this way or this way, my thing was always to get everything back to LaRussell.
Can we also be clear about something as well? Because people will see the monthly listens and be like on Spotify and be like, oh, it's not streaming or whatever. But what's your catalog doing on a monthly basis, revenue-wise?
Right now, I do about 10 to 12 million streams a month. So it could be anywhere between 40 to 60 grand.
Sounds like a hit to me.
And I'm still early. It's no machine.
And
No
the best
machine.
part
It's
too,
no machine.
No machine.
what I was saying earlier is that like that's not playlist driven.
Yeah.
That's not
That's
because
people who
he's
go,
on
"Click me."
this top playlist and he's gonna be the first song, the third song, the 15th song, then off the playlist and it's gonna change next month. That's consistently every month and it only grows and grows. Those are real fans, real people who are like, I want to listen to LaRussell today.
I also think to that point, maybe this is my opinion, maybe you think differently, but I think monthly listeners for the most part is a pretty fucking useless metric. Listeners is one that I think is more important.
Yeah.
So I know there's the like if you got 100 million monthly listeners, it means something.
It's
But
only...
like, you can finesse that in so many ways.
Yes.
I go do a record with this artist who is way bigger than me, has 20 million monthly listeners, and if they give me what they call primary rights,
You got 20 now.
I got 20
and you know,
million. I
it's
can go
only
fly.
useless depending on what your career looks like.
Yep.
Like, I got 600, 700,000. That's real.
Right.
So
Right.
it ain't useless for us because that's real. I don't have playlists,
It's your
you
point.
know?
No
So it's
editorial.
real, right? It's
Yeah.
real people. So it
Yep.
depends on like the vanity of your metric. What is it based on? If it's the real deal, it's the real deal. Like Russ is the real deal. Russ the real, he makes 6 figures
Man.
every month off streaming, you know? And it's like, that's where we're headed. We just haven't got, like everyone who's successful in this game at the level that like I've built for myself has had damn near a machine or a system to aid them and been there. And I just haven't yet. So now, like I say, it's gonna be gross.
When are you gonna say something?
No.
Oh, okay. When will be the point in your career where you say, okay, the strategy changes to scarcity?
I don't think it will.
Really?
I don't think it will.
Because you know the big three that you named, for example, they operate in scarcity now. it
Not
seems.
Drake. Drake got to
Who's
where
the
he
last-
is because he's never operated in scarcity.
That's very fair in terms of the music. But when's the last time he had? I know he did the thing with Bobby Altov, and he'll do some of these like
Yeah.
more.
Oh, you mean like
comedic
interviews
things.
and stuff?
Yeah, conversation. You can't.
I mean, but I don't think that. I think if he spoke, it depends on who you are. Like Tupac spoke a lot, and that's why we revere and we love him.
Yes.
Depending on what you give him when you speak,
Right.
like scarcity is not. People want that. Imagine if Drake was giving you game and information and gems on like, man, this how I did my deal, this how I got here. You wouldn't be mad. You wouldn't be like, nigga, go away.
The truth is, every time he does have a real conversation, everybody tunes
Same
in
with
and loves
Hov.
it.
Like,
Same with
I
Hov.
wish they would share more. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't think that'll be a thing for me. Like, until I'm like, I just don't want to talk no more. But beyond that, it's like I feel like I have a due diligence to share and serve while we here. We made it from nothing.
Yeah.
I'm
Fair.
not, bro. What I'm gonna be scared for? We made it from nothing. I'm gonna make sure everybody know, and this is how we did it.
I love that.
And we have a full understanding that like the status quo continues to operate the way that it does because we
Niggas
came up
don't want to share.
Exactly. We came up into the game is to be sold, not told. And we have openly gone against that and we'll continue to go. It's part of our DNA.
I love that. I love that. I was talking to you guys earlier off camera of kind of the generation of individuals that I came in of managers, and it was I referenced them a lot on this podcast, but Pat Corcoran was one of them.
Yeah.
Jordan Evans and Matthew Burnett, Byron, who I managed Jesse with for a long time. These are all folks in my David Ali.
Yep.
All folks from my generation, and there was never, ever a scarcity mindset with any of these individuals that I spoke with. You know, and it was, so my generation, fortunately, came with the nuggets and the information because we were the first ones, I think, like to truly, like really understand the democratization of the business.
Even with them though, like they gave the information peer-based.
Yes.
Not to the world.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what when we did free game and we said, oh no, I got a pub admin deal, not a co-pub deal. This is how you do it. You need to be on Sound Exchange. You need to be on this. You need to be with a PRO.
Yeah.
That was different. That wasn't me talking. I taught her as a peer, but then I went and taught the world and made sure that everyone knew it. You feel me?
Yeah. From that level of what you're talking about publicly, it was definitely Russ from my vantage point.
Yep. And I think that the further that we move into a media-based world, how many people you know is picking up books? If you want to hide something from the world, put it in a book.
Yeah.
And everything,
Like the Chris Rock comedy.
everything that you need to know is in a book from like the Donald Passmans and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So for us to go publicly on video and be like, this is how you can do it, this is where you can learn it from, is like, that's us changing the status quo in a way. Now I see a bunch of podcasters and people sharing how I did this or why I do this and all this. Like educational content became the most valuable kind of content. That's how you went viral. That's how you grew a following, was by providing something of value. And I think that it's going to continue to be that way. People don't want to just watch your day in the life of, you know, like, what did you provide?
And people want the information from the niggas who made it.
Who actually
like, I'm a
Yes,
victor.
yes,
you know, I'm a victor. I am the successful artist. And it's not to knock anybody's manager or publicist, but it's like, we don't want to hear from them niggas.
Right.
Like the managers do, but the world wants to. I want to hear from Drake. I don't want to hear from his managers. Like, I want Drake to tell me, hey, what happened?
That's not true. I want to hear from Future to Prince whenever you possibly
both
can.
But you're a manager.
Right.
The world don't. You feel me? They don't even know. You feel me? They don't know who that is. They want to hear from Drake.
Right.
And that's the thing. If you want to get to the masses, it's like it needs to be that way. That's how it's supposed to be. You know, it's the same as like we're watching a doc on Michelle Obama. But after we was done, I was like, man, we got to watch Obama's. Because it's like you still want to hear from the person who did it, like specifically. That's always going to be the best information in gym because it's direct.
The messenger truly, unfortunately, matters more than the message. Like if somebody who nobody knows is like, hey, this is how you get out of poverty, nobody's going to hear it. The few who know who they are going to hear it. But if Obama or Trump was like, hey, if you want to beat the system, here's exactly how you do it, and the world got to hear it, it would matter so much more.
Crazy?
So much more, right.
Was it Russ? It might have been either Russ or Ebro. Someone told me recently, they were like, if the worker on the floor at Pepsi was like, fuck Coke, no one cares. But let the president of Pepsi be like, fuck Coke. It's world news, you know, like it's a whole different, people conceive that completely different than the latter just because of who the messenger is.
Yo, the parallel is actually real because for many years, Pepsi was poking at the Coca-Cola polar bear. And that stuff went crazy viral back in the day. So people were like, oh yeah, Coke ain't. I like Pepsi better. So you're right. And that's mass marketing.
Yep.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Man, I can stay here forever and keep this conversation, not for the sake of trust me, when these cameras turn off, I'm sure we're going to keep having the conversation. Yeah. But like, I just love the energy that you guys have. I love the energy of the team that you have over here. Everybody's been so welcoming. Man, thank you so much just for being y'all and just continue to keep crushing it. I know you will. And I'm excited to see what happens, not only in the next 3 to 6 months, because I'm sure, while you're in this partnership, it's going to be great. But what that rest of the journey is, man. And I'll see y'all at the Grammys.
Yeah.
Best new artist.
40 albums. Best new artist.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Gratitude, man. We were excited to do this one. I was really excited to share this platform with T. Like when we've been discussing, I'm like, you got to come to the backyard. And I knew I wanted T to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And just like, I've been seeing you build. This is one of the platforms where it's like, yeah, we got to do this shit.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. I hope the conversation was good for you. Like, no, it's a great experience.
We're going to have hella clips.
Hell yeah, I hope so. I do have one question, actually, because, it's funny. And I don't know if this got to you or you saw this, but one last thing was I started this podcast, I think, 19 months ago. And in my head, I was like, I definitely need to get Russ on the podcast. I need to get Nick D on the podcast and LaRussell. And I even have a quote. I'll share the quote with you of what I kind of wrote something along, because I thought of y'all as like the new generation of independents who are really crushing it, right? Their own way. Everybody has their own system. But like, I think 4 weeks into the podcast, I put out an episode with Troy Carter, Tyler Henry, and then I found the email and I sent the email and I was like, hey, I'd love to have LaRussell on the podcast. Email came back. We have an offer-based system. What's the offer-based system? Oh, that's an offer-based system. Okay. And I can't remember who set the number of $1,000 and we agreed upon it, but we never were able to connect it.
Wow.
All I want to know, who was I emailing with?
Right, either one of us. Either one of us, yeah.
Was either one of you?
But yeah, so even with like interviews and shit, because I don't like to just do large interview platforms, and I like everybody to get the opportunity to interview me. We do all of our bookings offer-based. So it's like, if you make an offer and it's like, hey, we'll do it for that, I give everyone the chance to be able to book me, so no one's ever like, I can't get LaRussell. It's like, I want to share and spread this wealth. Like, we done sat down with platforms that only had 100 subscribers all the way to 1 million because I've decentralized booking me.
Absolutely. Well, there you heard it.
Good term.
People can actually just get in contact with the team and figure out how to connect with LaRussell and good company. Again, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.